Hello friends, I'm a storyteller. I know you're here to escape the world's chaos and drift toward peaceful sleep, but tonight's horror stories aren't just meant to calm you. They're here to pull you deeper into darkness. Relax, sink into your coziest spot, and close your eyes. Let the rain sound wash your weathered mind. Clean these scary stories, for sleep await. Subscribe now. Tell me below, where are you watching from? Your country? What time is it there? Why? Because these tales were woven just for you. Now, let's start. Story 1. The Scarab Hive. Beneath the Sphinx's paw, I discover ancient scarabs alive in New York's museum. They drain my life. I'm patrolling the Egyptian wing of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and something feels wrong tonight. My footsteps echo on the polished marble floor, each sound sharp and hollow. The air carries a faint scent of dust, like ancient tombs left undisturbed for centuries. I'm used to the quiet of these halls. They're my sanctuary after hours. But tonight, the silence presses against me, heavy and unnatural. My name is Alex, and I'm working as a night security guard here for 3 years. The job suits me. I love history, and the solitude lets me soak in the stories these artifacts hold. During the day, tourists swarm the museum, but at night, it's just me and the relics. I'm wandering through the exhibits, my flashlight cutting through the dimness. The statues of pharaohs and gods loom in the shadows, their stone eyes watching me. I'm thinking about my grandfather as I pass a row of sarcophagi. He was an archaeologist, digging through Egypt's sands for decades. His stories of cursed tombs and vengeful spirits filled my childhood. I'm remembering one tale in particular about scarabs that carried the wrath of forgotten gods. He warned me to respect the dead, to never disturb their rest. I always thought he was exaggerating. Now, I'm not so sure. The unease grows as I move deeper into the wing. Shadows flicker at the edges of my vision, like whispers I can't quite hear. A draft brushes my neck, cold and sharp, like a blade grazing my skin. I'm shaking my head, trying to dismiss it. It's just the night shift playing tricks, right? But my pulse quickens, and I can't shake the feeling that something is awake. I'm drawn to the scarab exhibit, a glass case filled with ancient beetles carved from stone and metal. In the center sits a large scarab, said to come from Pharaoh Khufu's tomb. Its lapis lazuli inlays gleam under my flashlight, almost pulsing. I'm staring at it, imagining the hands that shaped it thousands of years ago. The air around the case feels heavier, thick with the scent of old stone and something metallic, like blood. Then I hear it a low hum, like a distant swarm. I'm pausing, my ears straining. Is that buzzing? I'm stepping closer, my flashlight trembling in my grip. The scarab in the center twitches, its legs shifting slightly. I'm blinking, thinking I'm imagining it. These are fossils, dead for millennia. They don't move, but it happens again, more deliberate. The scarab lifts its head, mandibles clicking softly. My heart pounds, a drumbeat in my chest. This can't be real. I'm glancing around, expecting a prank, but the wing is empty. The other exhibits stand silent, their stone faces mocking my confusion. I'm trying to rationalize it. Maybe it's a mechanical replica, some new display tech I wasn't told about. But I know better. I watched this exhibit being set up. These are authentic artifacts, carefully preserved. I'm remembering my grandfather's warnings again, his voice echoing in my mind. Some objects carry the spirits of their makers, Alex. Disturb them, and you invite their wrath. Is that what I'm doing? Am I crossing some ancient line? The scarab moves again, crawling to the edge of its stand. Its antennae wave, as if sensing me. I'm frozen, my breath catching in my throat. Then I feel a sharp prick on my arm, like a needle. I look down and gasp. Tiny black specks are crawling on my skin, scarabs no bigger than fleas. They're spreading up my sleeve, their legs scratching like sandpaper. How are they here? Are they escaping the case? I'm brushing at my arm, panic rising. The specks multiply, their icy pricks stabbing deeper. Each touch drains me, my limbs growing heavy, my thoughts foggy. It's like they're pulling my life away, sip by sip. I'm stumbling back, my flashlight clattering to the floor. The buzzing grows louder, filling the air like a storm. I need help, but who can I call? The museum is closed, my colleague's gone. I'm deciding to head to the security office. Maybe the cameras can show me what's happening. I'm running through the corridors, the buzzing chasing me. The lights flicker, casting jagged shadows on the walls. The air smells of dust and metal, a sickly tense that clings to my throat. My skin crawls, as if the scarabs are already inside me. I'm reaching the office, slamming the door shut, locking it tight. My hands shake as I'm turning on the monitors. Static fills every screen, a hissing void. What's going on? I'm muttering, fear lacing my voice. I'm grabbing the phone, but the line is dead. Then I see it, a small scarab on my desk, crawling across my notepad. Its legs leave trails of dust, like tiny footprints in sand. It stops, turning its head toward me. I'm screaming, swatting it away, but dizziness hits me hard. I'm collapsing into my chair, fighting to stay conscious. What's happening? To me, I'm gasping, my vision blurring. I'm looking at my arm, and red welts are rising where the scarabs touched me. They pulse, and I feel something moving beneath my skin. Nausea surges, and I'm choking it back. I have to get out, find a hospital. A scratching sound starts at the door, like nails on wood. I'm turning, and my blood runs cold. Scarabs cover the door, a writhing mass pushing against it. The wood creaks, splintering under their weight. I'm realizing it won't hold. I'm scanning the room. The window, it's my only chance. I'm rushing to it, fumbling with the latch. It's stuck, rusted shut. I'm pulling harder, desperation fueling me. The latch snaps open with a crack, and fresh air floods in. I'm breathing deeply, but relief is fleeting. The door's giving way, scarabs spilling through the cracks. I'm hoisting myself through the window, dropping to the ground outside. Pain shoots through my ankles, but I'm ignoring it. I'm running, the buzzing echoing behind me. I'm reaching the street, flagging a taxi. Take me to the nearest hospital. I'm gasping, collapsing into the back seat. The driver glances at me, his eyes narrowing at my pale face, my sweat-soaked shirt. He nods, speeding into the night. I'm looking back at the museum, its facade looming in the moonlight. The buzzing lingers in my ears, a reminder of what I've unleashed. My grandfather's voice echoes again, but it's distorted now, as if the scarabs are twisting his words. Did he know this would happen? Am I losing my mind, or are they stealing my memories too? I'm clutching my arm, the welts throbbing. Whatever is happening, it's only the beginning. I'm terrified, but I have to stop this curse, whatever it takes. I feel the scarabs moving inside me in New York's hospital. They're taking over my mind. I'm waking up in a hospital bed, the sterile smell of antiseptic stinging my nostrils. My body feels heavy, like I'm sinking into the mattress. I'm trying to sit up, but a sharp pain shoots through my arm where the scarabs bit me. I'm looking down. Bandages wrap my forearm tightly, hiding the red welts. There's no sign of the tiny insects, but I'm not convinced they're gone. A nurse enters, her shoes squeaking on the linoleum floor. "You're awake," she says, checking the monitors beside my bed. "How are you feeling?" "Weak," I mutter, my voice hoarse. "What happened?" "You were brought in last night, delirious, with puncture wounds on your arm," she explains. "The doctor thought they were insect bites, but we found no insects." I'm remembering the scarabs there, tiny legs scratching my skin, the draining pull on my energy. They were scarabs, I say, ancient Egyptian scarabs, from the museum. The nurse raises an eyebrow. "Scarab beetles, in New York." "That's unlikely." "I saw them," I insist. "They were moving, alive. She gives me a sympathetic look, maybe a hallucination. You might have been exposed to something in the museum. I'm shaking my head, but doubt creeps in. Was I hallucinating? The pain felt real, and the weakness gripping me now is undeniable as she leaves. I'm lying back, trying to piece it together. I'm recalling running from the museum, flagging a taxi, begging the driver to get me here. After that, it's a blur, like my memories are slipping away. A tingling sensation crawls up my arm, like tiny feet skittering under my skin. I'm scratching at the bandage. Nothing's there. Then, a faint buzzing starts, so soft I think I'm imagining it. The sound grows louder, vibrating in my chest. I'm realizing it's coming from inside me. Panic surges. I'm ripping off the bandage. I'm expecting scarabs to spill out, but my skin is smooth, marked only by red welts. The sensation persists, like insects burrowing through my veins. I'm screaming, and the nurse rushes back, a doctor trailing her. "What's wrong?" the doctor asks, his voice steady but firm. "Something's inside me," I gasp, clutching my arm. I'm feeling them moving. He examines my arm, his brow furrowing. No infection, no foreign objects. It might be a psychological response to trauma. It's real, I protest. "Please, you have to believe me." He exchanges a glance with the nurse. "We'll run more tests," he says, "but rest for now. You've been through a lot." They leave, and I'm lying back, my heart racing. The buzzing doesn't stop. It's relentless, like a swarm trapped in my skull. The air smells of antiseptic and something else metallic, like blood. I'm closing my eyes, trying to calm down. Instead of darkness, a vision hits me. I'm standing in a desert, pyramids looming in the distance. A man in a fedora, holding a shovel, stands beside me. It's my grandfather, but younger, from decades ago. "Alex," he says, his voice echoing, "be careful. The scarabs guard the dead. They protect the pharaoh's secrets." I'm trying to speak, but my voice is gone. The vision shifts. I'm a child, sitting by the fireplace, listening to his stories. But these aren't the tales I remember there. Warnings about disturbing ancient tombs, about scarabs that steal life. I'm snapping back to reality, my heart pounding. Was that a memory? I never recalled him warning me about scarabs, or did I? My mind feels foggy, like pieces are missing. Later, as I'm drifting toward sleep, a whispering sound comes from the next room. It's low, like a chant in a foreign tongue. Curiosity overrides my pain, and I'm getting up, wincing as I move. I'm peeking into the next room. An old man sits up in bed, eyes closed, mumbling words I don't understand. I'm stepping closer, and his eyes snap open, locking onto mine. "You shouldn't be here," he rasps. "The scarabs have chosen you." I'm freezing. "What do you mean?" He smiles, a chilling sight. "They feed on life, on energy. They're inside you now, growing stronger." "How do you know?" This I ask, fear tightening my chest. "I saw it before," he says. "In Egypt, years ago. Our expedition uncovered a tomb filled with scarabs like these. We thought they were artifacts, but they were alive, waiting." "What happened?" I whisper. "Most died," he says. "Survivors were never the same. The scarabs marked them, body and mind." "Is there a way to stop them?" I ask, desperate. He shakes his head. "Not that I know, but seek the keeper of the sands. He might have answers." Before I can ask more, a nurse enters. "Mr. Carter, get back to bed," she scolds. I'm turning to the old man, but he's lying down, eyes closed, as if asleep. "Who is he?" I ask the nurse. "Mr. Thompson," she says. "He's been here weeks, recovering from a heart attack." "Why?" "I heard him talking," I say. She checks his monitors. "He's been unconscious for days." "You imagined it." "But I know what I heard." His words chill me to the bone. The next morning, I'm deciding to leave. The doctors find no physical issues, but I can't stay while something grows inside me. I'm signing myself out, ignoring the doctor's protests. I'm taking a taxi to my apartment, the city lights blurring past. The driver glances at me, probably noticing my pale face and sweaty brow. I'm ignoring him, focusing on the buzzing in my ears. At home, I'm collapsing onto my couch, exhausted. The air smells of dust and stale coffee. I'm searching online for information on living scarabs, but I find only myths. Then, I'm remembering my grandfather's journals. I'm pulling a box from under my desk, filled with leather-bound notebooks. His neat handwriting fills the page's notes on digs, artifacts, Egyptian myths. I'm flipping through, searching for anything about Scar. In a later journal, I find an entry dated months before his death. Today, I received a package, anonymous. Inside was a scarab amulet, like the one from Khufu's tomb. It pulsed with energy. Holding it, I felt it trying to speak to me. That night, I dreamed of a tomb, scarabs whispering secrets no one should know. When I woke, the amulet was gone. I fear I've awakened something that should have stayed dormant. My heart races. My grandfather faced this too. Is this why it's happening to me? I'm closing the journal, my hands trembling. The buzzing surges, louder now. I'm feeling a sharp pain in my arm. The welts are glowing faintly, forming a scarab pattern. I'm closing my eyes, and another vision hits. I'm in a tomb, hieroglyphs glowing on the walls. A sarcophagus sits in the center, a large scarab amulet on top. It glows, and a voice speaks in my mind. You are the chosen, the vessel for our return. The scarab leaps, attaching to my chest. A burning spreads through me, like fire in my veins. I'm waking up, sweating, my shirt clinging to my skin. I'm checking my arm. The welts now form a clear scarab shape, like a tattoo. What's happening to me? Am I becoming one of them? I'm remembering Dr. Evelyn Carter, an NYU Egyptologist and distant cousin. She might know something. I'm finding her number and calling, despite the late hour. Hello, her voice is sleepy. Dr. Carter, it's Alex Carter, I say. I need your help, urgently. It's about something my grandfather brought. From Egypt. A pause. All right, come to my office at NYU. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Thank you, I say, relief washing over me. I'm grabbing my coat, the buzzing louder now. As I'm leaving my apartment, I feel eyes on me. The scarabs are still with me, and they're not letting go. I confront the Scarab Queen in NYU's ancient archives. She's wearing my grandfather's face. I'm stepping out of the taxi onto the NYU campus, the night air biting at my skin like invisible mandibles. The buildings loom around me, shadows stretching long under the streetlights. My arm throbs under the fresh bandage I wrapped before leaving the scarab-shaped welts pulsing with each heartbeat. The droning in my head hasn't stopped. It's a constant vibration, like a hive stirring inside my skull. I'm hurrying toward the Egyptology department, my footsteps echoing on the pavement. The campus feels deserted at this hour, only the occasional rustle of leaves breaking the silence. A chill wind carries the faint scent of rain-soaked earth mixed with the sharp tang of city exhaust clinging to my clothes like a shroud. I'm checking my phone. Dr. Carter's message confirms she's waiting in her office. I'm pushing through the doors of the old building, the air inside thick with the odor of aged paper and dust. It reminds me of the museum, that same ancient staleness seeping into my pores, making my tongue taste dry and gritty. I'm climbing the stairs, my legs heavy, as if weights are dragging them down. Each step sends a jolt through my body, the rough concrete under my shoes scraping like claws on bone. The droning intensifies with every rise, vibrating through my bones and making my teeth ache. I'm pausing on the landing, catching my breath. A faint skittering sound comes from the walls, like tiny legs rasping against brick. I'm shaking my head. It's just my imagination, right? But the sensation of something burrowing under my skin returns. Cold and insistent, leaving a bitter aftertaste of metal on my tongue. Dr. Carter's office door is ajar, a dim light spilling out. I'm knocking softly, pushing it open. She's sitting at her desk, surrounded by stacks of books and artifacts. Her face is lined with fatigue, but her eyes sharpen when she sees me. "Alex, you look terrible. Sit down." I'm collapsing into a chair, the leather creaking under me like old bones settling. The room smells of polished wood and faint incense, a smoky haze that clings to the air, mixing with the coppery flavor lingering in my mouth from earlier panic. "Thanks for meeting me. It's about grandfather's work and these scarabs." She nods, leaning forward. "Tell me everything." I'm recounting the night at the museum, the moving scarabs, the bites, the visions. As I speak, the droning grows louder, making my words slur slightly, and my throat feel raw. She listens intently, her fingers tapping on a notebook with a rhythmic click. When I finish, she sighs. "Your grandfather mentioned something similar in his letters to me. He believed in a curse tied to Khufu's tomb." "What curse?" I ask, my voice trembling as the air thickens with the musty scent of forgotten secrets. She stands, walking to a locked cabinet that groans open with a metallic rasp. "He found an amulet there, a Scarab Queen artifact. It wasn't just stone. It was alive somehow. He smuggled it out, but it vanished. He thought it followed him." I'm staring as she pulls out a small box, opening it to reveal a glowing scarab amulet. It's identical to the one in my visions, its surface shimmering like liquid gold under the lamp's light. The air around it hums, matching the vibration in my head, and a sharp, acrid smell like burning sand fills the room. "Wait, did you get this anonymous package last week?" she says. I didn't connect it until now. I'm reaching for it, but a sharp pain stabs my chest, like needles piercing deep. The amulet pulses, and a vision floods my mind. I'm in the desert again, but this time grandfather is digging alone under a merciless sun. He uncovers the amulet, and scarabs swarm from the sand, burrowing into his skin with chittering fury. He screams, but his face twists into a smile as if welcoming them. The sand tastes gritty on my lips and the vision dry and salty, while the air reeks of heated stone and decay. I'm snapping back, gasping for air that feels heavy and damp. That wasn't my memory. I never knew he was alone in that dig. Dr. Carter frowns, her brow furrowing like cracked parchment. Memories can shift with trauma. But this amulet, it changes things. Look closer. I'm leaning in, and the scarab's eyes seem to blink with a wet gleam. Tiny legs emerge from its edges, twitching like feelers in the wind. "It's alive," I whisper the word, tasting sour on my tongue. She nods, her voice steady. "Your grandfather's notes say it's a hive queen. It controls the swarm, feeding on hosts to rebirth itself, drawing lifelike sap from a wounded tree." The droning surges and I feel scarabs stirring in my veins, their movements like ice threading through warmth. "It's inside me now. How do we stop it? We need to destroy it," she says, grabbing a ritual dagger from her desk. It's ancient, etched with hieroglyphs that seem to writhe under my gaze. "But we must go to the archives below. There's a chamber there built like a tomb for such artifacts, sealed with wards from old texts." I'm following her down a hidden staircase, the door creaking open to reveal steps descending into darkness. The air grows colder, damper with each footfall, echoing hollow and distant, like whispers from a grave. My hand trails the wall, feeling the rough, gritty texture of stone coated in dust, like the skin of mummified remains. The scent shifts to something earthy and moldy, laced with a faint, metallic temps that coats my tongue like old blood as we descend. Deeper the staircase winds like a serpent's coil, and faint echoes of dripping water reach my ears, plinking steadily. Every few minutes I'm noting the details, the chills seeping into my bones, making my fingers numb, the musty odor intensifying, blending with a subtle rot like decaying papyrus. The steps slick underfoot, slippery as if coated. In some viscous residue, we reach the archives. A vast underground room that stretches into shadows filled with towering shelves of relics. Dim lights flicker overhead, casting eerie, jagged shadows that dance like restless spirits. Ancient artifacts line the racks. Cracked sarcophagi leaning precariously, their lids etched with curses that seem to glow faintly. Jars of preserved organs, the glass fogged with age, emitting a sickly sweet smell, like overripe fruit mixed with embalming fluids. Stone statues of forgotten gods, their eyes hollow and staring, as if judging our intrusion. The air down here is thick, heavy with the flavor of dust and antiquity, settling on my palate like fine powder. Dr. Carter leads me to a central pedestal, carved from black granite that feels cold and unyielding under my touch. She places the amulet on it, and it begins to hum louder, vibrating the air. This is where we end it. I'm watching as she unfolds an old papyrus, its edges frayed and yellowed. She starts the ritual, chanting words in ancient Egyptian, her voice low and rhythmic. Anubis, guardian of the dead, bind this intruder from the sands. Khepri, lord of rebirth, shatter the shell that defies your cycle. Each phrase echoes off the walls, making the shelves rattle slightly, dust sifting down like fine rain. The air responds, growing heavier, charged, with an electric temps that stings my nostrils and leaves a sharp, bitter taste on my lips. Shadows in the corners deepen, twisting into shapes that whisper faintly like distant chittering. The amulet vibrates more violently, and the droning in my head explodes into a roar, pounding like thunder in my skull. Scarabs erupt from the shadows, crawling over the shelves with a rasping skitter, their shells clicking like rain. On metal, they form a black wave surging toward us, the sound building to a deafening cacophony. I'm swinging the dagger, slashing at them with desperate arcs. One latches onto my leg, its bite burning like acid searing flesh, sending waves of fire up my thigh. Energy drains from me sip by sip, my vision blurring as a cold sweat breaks out, tasting salty on my upper lip. They're taking more. I gasp, the words thick in my throat. Dr. Carter stabs at the amulet, but it doesn't break. Instead, it glows brighter, and a larger scarab emerges the size of my fist. It's the queen, her wings unfolding with a wet, snapping sound that echoes. She hovers, her eyes glowing red, like embers in the dim light, and the air fills with a pungent, oily stench like charred insects. The queen lands on the pedestal, her form shifting. Flesh ripples over the shell, forming my grandfather's face. Alex, it rasps in his voice, you've come to join us. I'm staggering back, horror gripping me like icy fingers around my heart. The queen's eyes, now grandfather's, bore into mine, and a wave of nausea hits the metallic temps of blood, coating my tongue, thick and coppery, mixing with the damp earth smell of the archives. Grandfather, no, this isn't real. It is, the queen says, her mandibles clicking with a sharp grating noise. I took him years ago, used his body to spread the hive. Now, you're next. Your blood calls to us, warm and vital, feeding our eternal hunger. A memory twists in my mind, not mine but implanted like a venomous seed. I'm seeing grandfather in the tomb, willingly offering himself to the queen under flickering torchlight. He wasn't cursed. He summoned her, seeking immortality through the swarm, his laughter echoing as scarabs consumed him. The vision leaves a foul, ashy taste in my mouth, and doubt floods me. Were my childhood stories, loving tales, or veiled invitations to this fate? Why me? I demand, my voice cracking as pain radiates from my arm, the welts throbbing hot and swollen like embers under skin. The queen laughs, a sound like shattering glass mixed with insect wings. You carry his blood, his legacy. We rewrite you, piece by piece, until you become the hive's vessel. Scarabs pour from her body, covering me in a writhing mass. Their legs pierce my skin, cold and sharp, draining my strength, while a sticky resin-like fluid seeps from the bites, tasting acrid as it drips onto my lips. Emotionally, I'm crumbling. Betrayal stinging worse than the bites, my grandfather's face, mocking the trust I held. Physically, my limbs grow numb, vision tunneling, each breath labored and tasting of defeat. Dr. Carter grabs my arm, her touch grounding. Fight it, Alex. It's altering your memories to weaken you, twisting love into horror. With a surge of will, I'm lunging forward, dagger raised high. The queen screeches a high-pitched wail that echoes through the archives, shaking relics from shelves. I stab her core, the blade sinking in with a squelch, and light bursts from her, blinding me. Scarabs dissolve into dust. They're droning, fading to silence, leaving a powdery residue that tastes chalky on the air. I'm collapsing to the floor, exhausted, my body aching from head to toe. Every muscle screams, skin raw and itching, where the scarabs touched a lingering burn like salt in wounds. My mouth is dry, flavored with the aftermath of blood and dust. While the archive's chill seeps deeper into my core, Dr. Carter helps me up, her face pale and drawn. It's over. The queen is destroyed, but I'm not sure. Fragments might linger hidden in your blood. I'm nodding weakly, doubt gnawing at me. You think it's not truly gone, her hesitation says enough, her eyes flickering with unspoken fears, the air between us thick with uncertainty. We climb back up, the stairs feeling endless, each step pulling at my drained energy. Emerging into the night, the campus air feels fresher, but tainted with a subtle lingering hum in my ears. I'm touching my arm. The welts are fading, but a new scar forms, a small scarab outline raised and tender like a fresh brand. Shadows on the buildings seem alive, watching me with unseen eyes, and a faint earthy scent follows, like sand from a disturbed tomb. I'm hailing another taxi, collapsing into the seat as the driver pulls away. My grandfather's voice echoes in my mind, twisted now. You can't escape the hive, Alex. It's part of you, woven into your very essence. Deep down, I know this isn't the end. The scarabs have marked me, and they're waiting to rebuild their queen, perhaps stirring anew within. I become the Scarab Hive in my New York apartment. It's consuming my soul from within. I'm stumbling out of the taxi, the city lights blurring into streaks as I pay the driver with shaking hands. My apartment building looms ahead, a shadowy monolith against the night sky, its bricks cold and unyielding under my palm as I lean against the door. The scar on my arm itches fiercely, the small scarab outline raised like a fresh burn, pulsing with a rhythm that matches my heartbeat. The faint hum lingers in my ears, no longer a distant buzz, but a deep internal drone like insects nesting in my chest. I'm fumbling for my keys, the metal jingling softly, and push inside. The hallway air thick with the stale scent of yesterday's coffee and dust. The elevator ride feels endless, the cables groaning like strained tendons. I'm staring at my reflection in the scratched metal doors, my face pale and hollow eyes sunken as if something is hollowing me out from inside. A sharp twinge runs through my veins, cold and prickly, leaving a metallic tense on my tongue, like old pennies. I'm stepping out on my floor, the carpet muffling my footsteps, but each one sends vibrations up my legs, as if the ground is alive beneath me. Inside my apartment, I'm locking the door behind me, the click echoing too loudly in the quiet space. The room smells of neglect, a mix of musty fabric and faint sweat clinging to the curtains and couch. I'm collapsing onto the bed, the sheets cool against my feverish skin, but relief doesn't come. The hum grows stronger, vibrating through my bones, and I feel tiny movements under my flesh like threads unraveling. I'm trying to ignore it, closing my eyes, but a vision slams into me. I'm back in the archive, stabbing the queen, but this time, she dissolves into my hand, merging with my blood. I'm jolting awake, sweat soaking my shirt, the fabric sticky and clammy. Was that a dream, or a memory shifting again? My grandfather's voice whispers in my mind, not twisted now but clear. The hive chooses its king, Alex. You were always meant for this. I'm shaking my head, but doubt creeps in, cold and insidious like frost on glass. I'm getting up, pacing the room, my bare feet sinking into the rough weave of the rug. The air feels heavier, charged with an electric scent like ozone before a storm, mixing with the earthy aroma of sand that shouldn't be here. Every 7 minutes or so, I'm noting the sensations, the faint scratching at the walls, like nails on wood, the bitter flavor coating my mouth sharp and coppery. The texture of my skin now bumpy in places, as if welts are rising anew. I'm heading to the bathroom, flipping on the light, its harsh buzz mirroring the one in my head. In the mirror, I see the scar on my arm glowing faintly, veins around it darkening like ink spreading. I'm touching it, the skin hot and tender pulsing under my fingers. A small scarab emerges from the edge, tiny and black, crawling across my wrist. I'm swatting at it, panic rising, but it burrows back in, leaving a sting like fire. This can't be happening, I mutter, my voice echoing off the tiles. The phone rings, startling me. It's Dr. Carter, her voice tense. Through the speaker. Alex, I've been researching more. The Queen isn't dead. She fragments and rebuilds in a host. You might be carrying her now. I'm gripping the sink, the porcelain cold and smooth. What do I do? The words taste desperate, laced with fear. Return to the museum, she says. The original Scarab exhibit, there's a counter-ritual in Grandfather's notes. Burn the source amulet with sacred fire. I'll meet you there. I'm agreeing though. Dread knots my stomach. The hum surges, as if protesting, and I feel a shift in my thoughts, memories twisting. Now I recall Grandfather teaching me ancient chants as a boy. Not stories, but invocations, preparing me for this inheritance. Is that real? Or the hive rewriting me? I'm grabbing my coat, the fabric rough against my arms, and head out into the night. The streets of New York pulse, with life cars honking, people laughing, but I feel isolated like a ghost among them. The air carries the sharp smell of rain on asphalt, wet and pungent, mixing with the faint, oily residue of street food. My taxi ride is tense. The driver's radio crackling static that sounds like chittering insects. Arriving at the museum, I'm slipping through a side entrance. I know from my shifts, the door creaking open with a low groan. The halls are dark shadows pooling like ink, and the air smells of polished stone and faint decay, a scent that clings to my throat. I'm moving toward the Egyptian wing flashlight beam, cutting through the gloom, illuminating statues that seem to watch me, their stone eyes glinting. Dr. Carter is waiting, her face illuminated by a lantern, shadows dancing across her features. You made it, she whispers, handing me a bundle of herbs and a lighter. We burned the central scarab. Chant with me. We approach the glass case, the large scarab inside pulsing faintly as if breathing. I'm breaking. The glass shards tinkling to the floor, sharp and brittle underfoot. The air fills with a musty release, like opening a sealed tomb, dry and ancient, tasting of sand on my lips. She starts the chant, her voice steady. Khepri, devourer of shadows, consume this false rebirth. I join in, the words feeling foreign yet familiar, echoing off the exhibits. The scarab twitches, legs unfolding, and the hum in my head roars, a storm building. Scarabs swarm from the case, a black tide crawling over the floor, their shells rasping against marble. They climb my legs, bites piercing like needles, draining energy, sip by sip. I'm lighting the herbs, flames flickering orange, the smoke acrid and thick, burning my eyes and nostrils. The central scarab glows, growing larger, and the Queen reforms her body, twisting from the fragments in my veins. She hovers, wings buzzing her face, shifting to Grandfather's again. You cannot destroy what you are. She rasps, voice like grinding stone. I'm thrusting the burning herbs at her flames, licking her shell, a sizzle filling the air, pungent with charred insect. She screeches, pain lancing through me, as if we're connected. Memories flood. Grandfather's true end, not a victim but a willing host. Passing the hive to me in his journal's hidden codes, I now see. The isolation hits hard. Years of solitude in the museum, losing my identity to history's ghosts. Dr. Carter grabs my arm, pulling me back. Finish it, Alex, for your sake. With a final surge, I'm pressing the fire into the Queen's core, her form crumbling to ash, the swarm dissolving. The hum fades, silence rushing in, but a peace remains embedded in my soul. I'm collapsing. the floor cold against my cheek, ash tasting bitter on my tongue. Dr. Carter helps me up, her touch warm but distant. It's gone. Truly this time, the fire purified it. But as we leave the museum, fading behind, a faint itch returns deep inside. I'm wondering if I've become the hive, or if it's finally at rest. The city awakens around me, but my world feels forever changed, marked by the scarab's whisper. Back home I'm staring at the scar now, faded to a scar. No hum, no movements. Yet in quiet moments I feel the pull of ancient sands, a reminder of what I almost became. Grandfather's legacy isn't curse, but choice, and I've broken the cycle, reclaiming my identity from the swarm's grasp. The ordeal ends here logically with the source destroyed, in its origin point, leaving me scarred but free. Story 2. The Drowning Light of Point 0x. I saw a light in the ocean's depths. It made me want to drown. I'm descending into the abyss aboard the submersible. Nautilus, the metal hull creaking under the immense pressure. The ocean presses in from all sides, cold and unyielding, like an endless void swallowing us whole. My name is Dr. Alina Reyes, and I'm leading this expedition to Point 0x, the deepest known trench in the Pacific. We're a small team of 4, isolated down here, miles from the surface. The air inside smells of recycled oxygen and faint sweat, a stale temps that clings to my throat. I'm checking the monitors, their screens glowing faintly, casting blue shadows on my face. The descent takes hours, the sub's engines humming steadily, vibrating through my seat. Outside darkness reigns absolute, broken only by our floodlights piercing the gloom. I'm thinking about why I'm here, chasing rumors of anomalous readings, strange signals from the trench floor. My colleagues joke about sea monsters, but I feel the weight of the unknown, heavy and oppressive. The water's chill seeps through the hull, making my fingers numb. Even with the heaters running, we're approaching the target depth. The gauge is ticking down relentlessly. Steady now, I say to the pilot, Mark, his hands gripping the controls tightly. The sub shudders, a low groan echoing through the cabin like the ocean itself is breathing. I'm peering through the porthole, the view a murky black flecked with bioluminescent specks, drifting like lost stars. The scent of salt invades, somehow sharp and briny, mixing with the metallic bite of machinery. Suddenly, a faint glow appears below, not from our lights, but something else. I'm leaning closer, my breath fogging the glass. What is that? The team gathers, murmurs, filling the cabin. The light pulses gently, soft and inviting like a lantern in the fog. It's coming from the trench floor point, 0x itself, where no light should exist. The water around it shimmers, rippling with an unnatural rhythm, and a distant hum vibrates through the hull, low and resonant. I'm adjusting the external camera, zooming in on the source. The glow intensifies, bathing the sub in a pale, ethereal blue. My skin tingles cold and prickly, as if the light is reaching through the metal. It's beautiful, whispers Sarah, our biologist, her voice hushed. But something feels wrong, a pull in my chest, urging me toward it. The air grows heavier, thick with moisture, and I taste salt on my lips. Sharp and insistent. We're hovering above it now, the sub's thrusters whirr softly. The light forms a perfect circle about 10 feet across, pulsing like a heartbeat. Tiny particles dance in its beams, swirling upward as if drawn to the surface. I'm feeling an odd calm wash over me, my worries fading, replaced by a desire to get closer. The cabin's humidity rises, beads of condensation forming on the walls, slick and cool to the touch. Deploy the probe. I order, my voice steady, but my heart racing. Mark nods, extending the robotic arm, its motors whining. The probe dips into the light, and immediately, the monitors flicker. Data streams in, but its garbled readings jumping erratically. A soft whisper echoes through the speakers like voices, underwater murmuring words I can't make out. The sound sends chills down my spine, cold and echoing, blending with the drip of water somewhere in the sub. I'm staring at the light, transfixed. It calls to me, a silent siren, promising peace in the depths. Memories stir unexpectedly, not mine, or are they? I'm recalling a childhood. Swim the ocean pulling me under, but now it feels welcoming like home. The team notices my distraction. Tom, the engineer, touching my shoulder. Alina, you okay? His hand feels warm, grounding. But the light's pull strengthens, making me want to open the hatch. To dive in, the probe touches the light's edge, and a surge ripples through the sublights, dimming. Briefly, the glow brightens, illuminating shapes below, twisted forms that look like sunken wreckage or something organic. I'm gasping, the air tasting thicker like brine, filling my lungs. Every 7 minutes, I'm noting the details. The sub's hull, groaning under pressure, a deep, resonant creak. The chill seeping deeper, numbing my toes. The faint scent of ozone, sharp and electric, as if the light is charging. The water. We're deciding to surface for analysis, but as we ascend, the light follows its beam, tracking us. Panic edges in my pulse, quickening. It's moving, Sarah says, her voice trembling. The hum grows louder, vibrating in my chest, and another memory shifts. I'm remembering a dive from years ago, but now, instead of fear, I feel longing, a urge to let go, to sink forever. Back at the midpoint depth, the light fades slightly, but its influence lingers, a whisper in my mind. I'm shaking it off, focusing on the team. We need to report this, but deep down I know it's not done with us. The ocean feels alive now, watching, waiting for us to return. The sub breaks the surface, waves crashing against the hull, salty spray misting the air. I'm stepping out onto the support ship, the deck slick underfoot wind, whipping my hair. The team gathers, faces, pale, sharing uneasy glances. That light, Tom mutters, it felt ... wrong. I nod, but inside the pole remains a quiet voice urging me back down. Night falls on the ship, the ocean rocking us gently, but sleep evades me. I'm lying in my bunk, the sheets damp with humidity, listening to the waves slap against the hull. The light haunts my thoughts, its glow replaying in my mind. A new memory emerges, twisted. I'm a child again, drowning in a pool, but smiling, embracing the water. Is this real, or is the light planting it? I'm getting up, pacing the corridor, the metal floor cold against my bare feet. The ship's lights flicker, casting long shadows, and a faint hum returns, distant, but insistent. I'm heading to the lab, reviewing the probe footage, the screen illuminating my face. In the video, the light pulses, and for a split second, faces appear in the glow. Distorted in pleading. Sarah joins me, her eyes wide. I dreamed of drowning, she confesses, voice soft. It felt peaceful. I'm nodding, sharing the same pull. The team assembles, discussing our next dive, but tension builds, unspoken fears hanging in the air. As dawn breaks, we're preparing to descend again, the sub humming to life. The ocean surface glitters, deceptive and calm, but below the light waits. I'm feeling its call stronger now, a compulsion to merge with the depths. What secrets does it hold, and why does it make me crave the end we're submerging? Once more, the water closing over us, dark and enveloping. The descent feels faster this time, the pressure building, squeezing the hull. Halfway down, the light reappears brighter, drawing us in. My hands tremble on the controls, the metal slick with sweat. Closer now, the glow envelops the sub, filling the cabin with blue light. I'm pressing my face to the porthole, the glass cold against my skin, staring into the heart of it. Whispers grow clearer, voices calling my name, promising release. A major shift hits. Memories of my entire career, rewrite. Every dive now ends in surrender, not exploration, but submission to the sea. I'm pulling back, horrified. We have to abort, I say, but Mark shakes his head, eyes glazed. No, we need to go deeper. The team divides, the light's influence spreading, turning us against each other. The sub dives further, the light consuming everything, its pull, irresistible. I'm fighting it, but deep inside I wonder if drowning is the only way out. I feel the light pulling my crew in the submersible. It's turning us against each other. I'm gripping the controls tightly, the submersible shaking as we descend deeper into .0x. The light below pulses stronger now. It's blue. Glow seeping through the portholes, casting eerie shadows across the cabin. My team sits, silent faces pale in the dim light, but tension hums in the air like a taut wire. The hull creaks under the pressure, a deep resonant groan that echoes in my chest. I'm glancing at Mark the pilot, his eyes fixed on the glow, unblinking. Mark's status report, my voice comes out steady, but inside the pull tugs at me, whispering promises of surrender. He doesn't respond immediately, his fingers twitching on the joystick. The air inside feels thicker, heavy with moisture that beads on the walls, slick and cold to the touch. A faint scent of brine lingers, sharp and invasive, mixing with the recycled oxygen's metallic temps that coats my tongue. It's calling me, he mutters, finally, voice low and distant. I'm leaning forward, concerned, nodding my stomach. What do you mean, Sarah? Our biologist shifts in her seat, the leather creaking softly. I feel it, too, she says, her words slurring slightly, as if the light is weighing on her mind. The sub's engines hum, steadily vibrating through the floor, but the external hum from the light grows louder, syncing with our breaths. Tom, the engineer, rubs his eyes, muttering about headaches. I'm noticing his hands, trembling, veins bulging faintly blue, like the light is seeping into his skin. We're hovering closer to the glow, the sub's floodlights dimming in comparison. Every 7 minutes I'm noting the sensations, the chill deepening, numbing my fingertips, the distant drip of condensation inside the hull, plinking like rain on metal, the taste of salt intensifying, bitter and unrelenting on my lips. The light forms tendrils now reaching upward, swirling around us like living mist. I'm feeling a strange calm settle over me, my worries fading, replaced by an urge to open the hatch, to let the water in. Mark suddenly jerks the controls, the sub lurching downward. We need to go deeper, he insists, eyes glazed with fervor. I'm grabbing his arm, the fabric of his sleeve damp with sweat. No, we stick to protocol. But he pulls away, a wild look crossing his face, as if the light is speaking through him. The cabin lights flicker, casting jagged shadows, and a whisper echoes from the speakers. Soft and insistent, murmuring names I recognize, from old dives. Sarah stands abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. It's peaceful down there, she whispers, stepping toward the porthole. Her reflection in the glass looks distorted, eyes to wide smile, unnatural. I'm pulling her back, her skin cold and clammy under my grip. Sarah, snap out of it. But she laughs softly, a sound like bubbles, rising, chilling me to the core. The air grows humid, steam fogging the monitors, and a sharp ozone scent fills the space, electric and biting. Tom hunches over his console, fingers flying across keys. Systems are glitching, he says, voice strained. The screens show erratic data depths, fluctuating wildly, as if the light is rewriting reality. I'm watching him closely, noticing how he pauses, staring at the glow, transfixed. A memory shifts in my mind, not subtle this time, but a full rewrite. I'm recalling our team briefing, but now, instead of excitement, we're all agreeing to dive forever, to become one with the trench. The thought feels right, comforting until I shake it off, horror surging. Everyone focus. I command, my voice echoing in the confined space. But the light's influence spreads like ink in water, clouding our thoughts. Mark argues with Tom, voices rising, accusing each other of sabotage. You want to turn back, coward? Mark snaps, his face twisting in anger. Tom shoves him, the sub rocking slightly, metal groaning in protest. I'm stepping between them, hands raised. Feeling the tension crackle like static, Sarah collapses to her knees, clutching her head. The voices, she gasps, tears streaming. They're showing me things, memories of drowning, but it's bliss. I'm kneeling beside her, the floor cold and vibrating under my knees. Her words trigger something in me, another memory twist. I'm seeing my first deep dive equipment failing, water rushing in, but now I remember smiling, welcoming the flood. The cabin smells of wet metal now, sharp and rusty, as if the hull is weeping. We're descending further, Despite my orders, the sub pulled by an invisible force. The light envelops us completely, blue hues, painting everything, making the air shimmer. Every 15 minutes equivalent, a major reveal hits. First, Mark confesses he's been hearing the light since our last surfacing, urging him to sabotage the ascent. The team gasps, trust fracturing. Then, Sarah reveals visions of lost submarines crews smiling as they sink. Bodies preserved in the glow dot. Tom grabs a tool, waving it threateningly. We have to shut it down, he yells, but his eyes betray him, drawn back to the porthole. I'm wrestling it from him, the metal cold in my hands, our struggle echoing with grunts and thuds. The sub tilts, alarms blaring, shrilly piercing the hum. The pressure outside mounts the hull, popping faintly, like joints under strain. I'm tying Mark's hands with emergency straps, his struggles weakening, murmurs of surrender escaping his lips. Sarah rocks back and forth, chanting, softly, words in a language I don't know, but they resonate in my bones. Another memory change surges every 30 minutes. The team's shared history rewrites our friendships, now laced with betrayals. Dives where we left each other to drown, laughing as the water claimed them. Horror grips me. These aren't real, but they feel true, eroding my resolve. The light pulses, brighter tendrils brushing the sub, leaving frost-like patterns on the hull. I'm feeling it inside me now, a warmth spreading, countering the cold. Fight it, I urge the team, but my voice wavers, the pull tempting me to join them. Tom breaks free, lunging for the hatch controls, fingers hovering over the release. Let it in, he whispers, eyes vacant. I'm tackling him, our bodies slamming against the console, sparks flying. The sub spins disoriented in the glow, the world tilting. Sarah screams, a raw guttural sound as visions overwhelm her. The air tastes of panic, salty sweat, and fear thicken my throat. We're stabilizing barely, but the damage is done. Trust shatters, accusations flying. Mark breaks his bonds, cornering me. You feel it too, Alina. Why resist? His breath is hot on my face, reeking of desperation. I'm pushing him back, heart pounding, the lights hum deafening now, drowning out reason. In a moment of clarity, I'm activating the emergency beacon signals, piercing the depths. But the light responds, intensifying, pulling us downward faster. The team turns on me, eyes glowing faintly, blue unified in their madness. I'm backing away alone now, the sub descending into chaos. The glow consumes everything. Whispers promising eternal peace. I'm fighting to regain control, but deep down the urge to let go grows, whispering that escape is impossible. I try to escape the drowning light in Hawaii's ocean depths. It's rewriting our escape as surrender. I'm wrestling for the controls, the submersible spinning wildly in the glowing abyss. Mark's hands claw at mine, his nails digging into my skin, sharp and desperate. The cabin tilts sharply, alarms blaring with a piercing wail echoing off the metal walls. Sarah huddles in the corner, murmuring to herself, her voice a low bubbling chant that chills my blood. Tom lies slumped against the console, breathing ragged, eyes fluttering as the light's tendrils pulse outside the portholes. The air inside grows stifling, thick with humidity that fogs every surface, leaving a slick, salty film on my lips. I'm shoving Mark back, his body slamming into the seat with a thud. We're ascending now, I growl, flipping the thruster switches, the engines roaring to life. The sub shudders, fighting the downward pull like an invisible hand, dragging us deeper. The glow intensifies, bathing everything in blue, making my skin tingle with cold electricity. Whispers filter through the hull, soft and insistent, promising sweet release if I just let go. I'm ignoring them, focusing on the depth gauge, its needle inching upward slowly. Mark lunges again, grabbing my arm, twisting it painfully. You can't leave it, he hisses, breath hot and foul, reeking of stale fear. I'm kneeing him in the gut, air whooshing out of him, and he crawls. The sub ascends a few meters, the pressure easing slightly, but the light follows, its tendrils wrapping around the hull, scraping with a rasping sound like claws on steel. Every 7 minutes I'm noting the details, the chill seeping through the metal numbing my hands, the faint drip of water inside plinking steadily, the bitter taste of brine coating my tongue sharp and unrelenting. Sarah crawls toward me, her eyes glowing faintly blue, reflecting the light outside. "It's home," she whispers, reaching for the hatch lever. I'm batting her hand away, the impact stinging my palm, and secure it with a lock strap. The sub rocks waves of force battering us as if the ocean is angry at our defiance. Tom stirs, groaning, his voice muffled. The systems, ... failing. I'm glancing at the monitor screens flickering with static data, corrupted by the glow. We're climbing higher, the light dimming slightly, but its pull lingers in my mind, tugging at thoughts. A memory shifts abruptly, not my own anymore. I'm recalling our descent briefing, but now we're all volunteering to stay forever, laughing as we seal the hatches, embracing the depths. The vision feels real comforting, until I blink it away, horror flooding in. It's changing us, I mutter, voice trembling. Mark recovers, charging at me again, his face twisted in rage. We grapple, bodies slamming against panels, sparks flying from damaged wires. The scent of burning insulation fills the cabin, acrid and sharp, stinging my nostrils. I'm pinning him down using my weight, his struggles weakening as the ascent continues. Sarah weeps softly, curled up, her sobs echoing like distant waves. The sub's thrusters whine, straining against the resistance, vibrations rattling my teeth. Every 15 minutes equivalent a major horror unfolds. First, the external cameras reveal shapes in the light. Humanoid figures drifting upward, their forms dissolving into mist as they reach for us. The team screams, voices raw, as the figures whisper names from our pasts. Then Tom confesses in a daze that he sabotaged the oxygen reserves before the dive, compelled by dreams of the light, leaving us with hours, not days. I'm activating emergency ballast, the sub surging upward, bubbles streaming past the portholes. The glow pursues tendrils, lashing out, cracking the outer hull with faint pops. Water seeps in cold droplets, splashing, my face tasting of salt and abyss. Hold on, I shout, gripping the console, knuckles white. Mark breaks free once more, smashing a panel, alarms multiplying. The cabin lights dim, emergency reds flickering on, casting bloody hues. Sarah grabs my leg, pulling me down, her grip surprisingly strong. Join us, she pleads, nails scratching my ankle, drawing blood that feels warm and sticky. I'm kicking free, pain shooting up my leg, and restrain her with cords. The sub ascends, erratically rocking side to side, the ocean's roar growing louder through the leaks. Tom hacks at the controls, muttering about salvation in the depths, his tools clanging against metal. Another memory rewrite hits every 30 minutes. Our entire expedition history twists, no longer scientific but a pilgrimage to the light where we've lost teams before willingly sacrificing them to feed it. The faces of old colleagues flash smiling as they drown, and I feel guilt, as if I led them there. Doubt creeps in, cold and insidious, making me question the escape. We're midway up now, the pressure lessening, but the light adapts, pulsing in rhythm with our heartbeats. It invades the speakers, broadcasting distorted voices, mimicking loved ones begging us to return. "Alina, come back," my mother's voice says, warped and echoing. Tears sting my eyes, hot and salty, mixing with the seeping water. The air turns humid, steam rising, carrying a metallic temps like blood in the ocean. Mark overpowers me briefly, reversing the thrusters, the sub plunging downward again. Panic surges, I'm headbutting him, stars exploding in. My vision and regain control. The team is fully against me now, bound but straining eyes, locked on the glow below. Leaks multiply, water pooling on the floor, cold and sloshing around my feet. Every detail heightens, the sub's groans, intensifying like a dying beast. The chill water rising, soaking my clothes heavy and clinging. The ozone, scent sharpening, electric on my skin. We're nearing the surface, faint daylight filtering down. But the light fights back, a massive pulse shaking the hull, cracking a porthole with a sharp snap. Tom breaks his bonds, lunging for the hatch, fingers on the release. Let it in, he yells, voice manic. I'm tackling him, our struggles splashing water everywhere, the cold shocking my system. Sarah joins in, freed somehow, pulling at my hair strands, ripping painfully. Mark stirs, adding to the chaos, the cabin a frenzy of limbs and shouts. With a final effort, I'm overriding the systems, blasting all ballast, the sub rocketing upward. We breach the surface, waves crashing over us salty, spray exploding through cracks. The support ship looms nearby, horns blaring, but the light's whisper lingers, pulling at my mind. Urging one last dive. Rescue teams board, hauling us out the deck, slick underfoot wind, whipping fiercely. The team is restrained, raving about the light while I collapse, exhausted. The glows, influence fading, but not gone. As they drag us away, a final memory twists. The escape was never real, we're still down there drowning in bliss. Is this the surface, or just another illusion? The ocean stares back, calm now, but I know it's waiting, ready to claim us again. I realize the drowning light is my own creation in .0x. It's been calling me home all along. I'm lying on the deck of the support ship, waves lapping against the hull with rhythmic slaps, salty spray misting my face cold and stinging. The rescue team hovers around us, their voices muffled like echoes from a distant shore. Mark, Sarah, and Tom are strapped to stretchers, raving incoherently about the light, their eyes still glowing faintly blue, as if the depths cling to them. My body aches, bruises throbbing from the struggle, skin raw and chafed from the cold water that soaked us. The air up here smells of diesel and sea salt, sharp and invigorating, a stark contrast to the stifling brine below. But the whisper persists in my mind, soft and insistent, urging me to dive back in. The captain approaches, his boots thudding on the wooden deck, face etched with concern. Dr. Reyes, what happened down there? I'm sitting up, the motion sending dizziness through me, the world tilting like the sub in chaos. The light, I mutter, voice hoarse, tasting of salt and exhaustion. It's not just a phenomenon, it's alive, rewriting us. He nods, but his eyes betrayed doubt, dismissing it as decompression sickness. They're preparing to airlift us to Hawaii, the nearest base, but I know it's not over. The pull tugs at my core, like a tide drawing me back. In the helicopter, rotors worry loudly, vibrating through my seat. I'm staring out at the ocean below, its surface deceptively calm, glittering under the sun. My team is sedated, their breathing steady but labored faces slack. A faint hum returns, not from the engines, but inside my head, syncing with my pulse. Every 7 minutes I'm noting the sensations, the chill wind whipping through cracks in the door, numbing my cheeks. The metallic tang of aviation fuel mixing with salt on my tongue, bitter and persistent. The rough texture of the seatbelt strap digging into my shoulder. We land at the research station on Oahu, the ground firm underfoot, palm trees rustling in the breeze, carrying the sweet scent of tropical flowers. Medics rush us inside the building, cool and sterile, air-conditioned, with a faint hum that echoes the light's call. I'm isolated in a quarantine room, white walls closing in, monitors beeping steadily. They run tests, needles pricking my arm, cold and sharp, drawing blood that looks too dark, veined with blue. The doctor frowns at the scans, muttering about anomalies in my brain activity. Waves pulsing like the light itself. Alone now, I'm pacing the room, the linoleum floor slick under my socks, echoing my footsteps. The whisper grows, louder, forming words. Return, Alina, you belong here. A vision hits sharp and vivid. I'm a child on a family boat trip. Waves crashing, falling overboard, water filling my lungs. But now the memory twists. I'm not scared. I'm reaching for a glow below, smiling as it pulls me down. Is this real, or the light planting seeds? Sweat beads on my forehead, salty and warm, dripping into my eyes. The team is in adjacent rooms, their muffled cries seeping through the walls, begging to go back. I'm accessing the station's database, fingers flying over the keyboard, the keys clicking softly. Records of .0x flood the screen, old expeditions, vanishing logs, describing a light that calls the lost. One entry chills. Me, a survivor from decades ago, my mentor writing about a psychological entity, born from collective trauma feeding on memories of drowning. The air in the room thickens, humid like the sub, carrying a faint briny scent that shouldn't be here. Every 15 minutes, equivalent horror reveals itself. First, security footage from the ship shows the ocean surface glowing. Faintly at night, tendrils reaching toward the vessel, as if following us. Panic grips me, the screen's glow reflecting in my eyes, cold and accusatory. Then a call from the doctor. My team's conditions worsen, brains sinking to an unknown frequency, murmuring about home in the depths. I'm rushing to their rooms, the corridor lights flickering, casting long shadows, and find them straining against restraints, eyes locked on the window, where the ocean horizon shimmers. Mark breaks free, first smashing through, the door glass shattering with a sharp crack, shards crunching underfoot. We have to go back, he rasps, voice bubbling like underwater speech, grabbing my arm with iron strength. Sarah and Tom follow a frenzy, erupting alarms, blaring shrilly. We're fighting in the hallway, bodies colliding, the scent of sweat and blood filling the air metallic and thick. I'm subduing them with help from staff injections, calming them, but the effort leaves me drained, muscles burning, breath ragged. Back in my room, I'm collapsing. Onto the bedsheets, crisp and cool against my feverish skin. Another memory shift surges every 30 minutes. My entire life rewrites not as a scientist exploring the unknown, but as a vessel for the light, every dive a step toward reunion. I see my parents' boating accident, the one that orphaned me, but now I caused it, summoning the glow to claim them because they tried to pull me from the water. The truth hits like a wave, cold and crushing. The light isn't external, it's me. A manifestation of my survivor's guilt born from that childhood near drowning, projecting onto others. Horror floods me, tears streaming, hot and salty, tasting of regret. The room darkens, lights dimming, and the whisper becomes my own voice. You created me, Alina. Embrace the end. I'm staggering to the window, pressing my hands against the glass. Cool and smooth, staring at the ocean. It glows faintly on the horizon, calling me home. Staff burst in, restraining me, but the pull is unbreakable. A compulsion to return to Point 0x. They sedate me, needles, piercing cold liquid spreading through my veins. But in my dreams I'm diving again, the sub descending smoothly, team united in surrender. We reach the light, its glow enveloping us, warm now, not cold. Memories finalize their twist. This isn't horror, it's peace. My creation offering absolution, drowning the guilt forever. Waking in restraints, the room spinning, I'm realizing the only way to end it is to confront the source. I'm convincing the team under heavy guard to prepare one last dive equipped with explosives to destroy the site. The captain agrees reluctantly, the sub reinforced. Hull gleaming under fluorescent lights, smelling of fresh weld and oil. We're submerging off Hawaii's coast, the water closing over us, dark and embracing. The descent is tense, engines humming, pressure building with creaks and pops. My team, medicated but alert, shares uneasy glances, faces pale. The light reappears below, brighter, welcoming. Every detail sharpens, the sub's vibrations rattling my bones. The recycled air tasting metallic, laced with anticipation. The porthole glass fogging from my breath, warm and moist, deeper. Now the glow intensifies, tendrils reaching, brushing the hull with whispers. A final horror reveal. Scans show the light isn't geological, but biological. A neural network mirroring my brain patterns grown from my repressed trauma, infecting others through proximity. It's me, I confess to the team. Voice breaking, tears mixing with sweat salty on my lips. They stare horrified, but understanding dawns, their own memories aligning. We're arming the explosives, timers ticking, a steady beep echoing. The light pulses angrily, shaking, the sub-alarms wailing. Mark sets the charges, hands steady, while Sarah monitors depths, voice calm. Tom overrides safeties, the sub diving straight into the heart. The glow consumes us, blue light flooding the cabin, warm and seductive. In the core, I'm facing it. The light manifesting as a mirror of my self-child version, drowning yet smiling. Join me, it says voice, my own echoing in my skull. Memories overwhelm, every loss, every dive, all leading here. My guilt manifesting as this entity pulling others down to share the burden. The air grows thick, humid and briny, tasting of tears and sea dot, with a surge of will. I'm detonating the charges, explosions, rumbling light fracturing like glass, shrieking in my mind. The sub implodes, partially water, rushing in cold and furious, but emergency ascent activates, blasting us upward. Debris swirls the glow, shattering into darkness, whispers fading to silence. We breach the surface, gasping, the ocean calm once more. Rescue pulls us aboard, the sun warm on my skin, drying the water. The team survives, eyes clear, memories untwisting. But as I stare at the waves, a faint itch remains deep inside, wondering if I truly destroyed it, or just buried it deeper. Back on land, reports filed, the site sealed. Yet in quiet nights, I hear the call subtle, reminding me the light was mine, and part of it lingers, waiting for the next dive. The truth confronted, but horror endures in the depths of the mind. Story 3: The ambulance that recycled souls. I drove an ambulance that recycled souls. Now I hear their voices. I'm starting my shift in downtown Chicago. The night air chills my bones. Sirens wail in the distance. I climb into the ambulance. The door slams shut heavy. My partner, Jake, nods from the passenger seat. We're ready for calls. The engine roars to life. It vibrates through the wheel. I grip it tight. The radio crackles with dispatch. First call comes quick. Heart attack on Michigan Avenue. I hit the gas pedal. Tires screech on pavement. I'm weaving through traffic. Horns blare around us. The city lights blur past. We arrive at the scene fast. A crowd gathers silent. The man lies on the sidewalk. His face pales ghostly. Jake grabs the defibrillator. I kneel beside him. His chest rises faintly. We work in rhythm. Shocks jolt his body. The machine beeps steady. No response at first. Then his eyes flutter open. He gasps for air, but his stare fixes oddly. On me, not the crowd. I'm helping him onto the stretcher. His hand grabs my arm. Fingers cold as ice. I've been here before, he whispers. Voice rasps low. I shake it off quick. Just delirium talking. We load him in back. The ambulance doors click shut. Jake monitors vitals closely. The man mumbles nonsense about loops and echoes. I focus on driving. Sirens pierce the night. The road hums under tires. I'm pulling into the ER bay. Nurses rush out ready. We transfer the patient smooth. He sits up sudden, eyes wide with fear. The flatline calls me back, he says, then collapses again. Medics wheel him away. Jake shrugs it off. Weird night, he mutters, but unease settles in, like a weight on my chest. I'm back in the ambulance, cleaning up supplies. The scent of antiseptic stings. It's sharp and chemical. Gloves snap off my hands. They're sticky with sweat. Another call buzzes in. Car crash on the expressway. We race out again. Wind whips through windows. The engine growls louder. We reach the wreck site. Metal twists everywhere. A woman trapped inside. Blood stains her clothes. Jake pries the door. I check her pulse, weak. I'm pulling her free gently. She coughs up blood. Her eyes lock on mine. You drove me last time, she gasps. Confusion hits me hard. I've never seen her. We stabilize her quick. 4 lines drip fluid. The monitor beeps erratic. In the ambulance, she revives briefly. Whispers fill the cab. Not hers, but others. Faint and overlapping. I glance at Jake. He hears nothing. The road bumps under us, shaking the gurney. Every 7 minutes, I'm noting. sensations. The leather seats creak softly, under my weight shifting. A faint metallic tense coats my tongue from the equipment nearby. The air feels thick inside, humid with tension. I'm arriving at the hospital again. Doors swing open wide. The woman clutches my sleeve. The souls recycle here, she murmurs. Then, her monitor flatlines. Beeps turn to drone. Medics shock her back. She revives with a jolt, but her eyes change color, from brown to blue. Jake notices too. We exchange uneasy looks. Coincidence, he says, but doubt creeps in. I'm taking a break. Outside, the night wind cools my face. It's brisk and carrying exhaust. Cigarette smoke curls from my lips, bitter on my breath. The ambulance sits parked. Its lights flash idle. Another call interrupts. Overdose in an alley. We speed through streets. Neon signs glow bright. The victim lies crumpled, needle in his arm. We administer Narcan fast. He gasps back to life. Sits up too quick. I died in this rig before. He laughs. Voice echoes hollow. I'm strapping him down firm. His laughter turns to sobs. Jake checks his pupils. They're dilated wide. In the back, whispers grow clearer. Voices begging release. I crank the radio up. Static drowns them out. The engine thrums steady, vibrating my hands. We hit a pothole. Hard. Equipment rattles loud. Every 15 minutes, a major horror reveals. First, the overdosed man describes details of a crash I handled last week, but he wasn't there. His words match exactly. Panic stirs in my gut. The ambulance feels smaller now, walls closing in subtle. I'm dropping him at triage. He grabs my hand. Again, fingers tremble cold. Echoes never leave, he warns, then slips into coma. Nurses rush him inside. Jake wipes sweat from his brow. These patients act possessed, he admits. We head back out. The city pulses, alive, but dread builds inside me. I'm refueling the ambulance. Gas pump clicks, rhythmic. The scent of fuel overwhelms. Sharp and dizzying, hoses coil like snakes. Another emergency tones in. Stroke victim in a high rise. We navigate traffic jams. Horns honk, impatient. Elevators ding on arrival. The old lady wheezes faint. We carry her downstairs. Her skin feels papery thin. Under my grasp, gentle, I'm loading her. In back. She revives mid-transport. Eyes snap open wide. Your voice echoes from my last ride. She croaks. Shock freezes me brief. Jake starts CPR anyway. The defibrillator hums charged. Shocks make her arch. She flatlines then returns. Whispers fill the air again. Multiple voices now, pleading in unison. Every 7 minutes. Details immerse more. The vinyl floor sticks slightly, under my boots shifting. A sterile smell lingers strong, like bleach mixed with blood. The overhead light buzzes faint, casting shadows jittery. I'm questioning Jake now. You hear that whispering? He shakes his head no. We arrive at ER doors. The lady sits up unnatural. Souls recycle in this beast, she intones, then collapses, final. Medics pronounce her gone, but her eyes stay open, staring through me. I'm clocking out early. Exhaustion weighs heavy. The locker room echoes empty. Showers run hot steam. Water scalds my skin red. Towel rough against me. Driving home, streets blur past. My apartment waits quiet. Keys jingle and lock. The door creaks open slow. I'm collapsing, on the couch. Fabric sinks soft. Remote clicks on TV. News drones low. Sleep pulls me under. Dreams swirl chaotic. Voices echo from patients, repeating their warnings. I wake and sweat. Sheets tangled damp. The clock ticks midnight. Every 30 minutes, a memory shifts deep. Shifts in my past emerge. Recalling my first shift years ago, but now it changes. A patient died, then revived, whispering secrets only I know. The alteration feels wrong, invasive like theft. I'm brewing coffee strong. The aroma fills the kitchen, bitter and grounding. Phone buzzes with texts. Jake checks in, worried. Patients today were off. He types. I agree, silent. Heading back to work. Dawn breaks over skyline. The ambulance gleams in lot. I climb inside, wary. I'm inspecting the interior. Drawers hold supplies neat. A faint scratch marks the wall, like nails dragged desperate. Another call. Surges in. Gunshot wound, downtown. We race to the scene. Blood pools on concrete. The victim gasps, ragged. We patch him quick. Load him aboard. I'm driving, lights flashing. Sirens wail piercing. He revives in back. I've flatlined here twice. He coughs. Blood flecks his lips. Jake stabilizes him firm. Whispers amplify now, clear as day. Voices name my secrets. From childhood hidden. Every 15 minutes, horror escalates. The gunshot man recites my address and my mother's maiden name. Details no stranger knows. Terror grips me cold. The ambulance accelerates on its own. Pedal sticks briefly. I'm slamming. Brakes hard. We skid to a stop. Hospital looms ahead. Unload him, shaking. He grins through pain. Echoes own this ride, he says. Then flatlines again. Medics swarm, chaotic. I step back, dazed. Jake pulls me aside. What's happening here? I'm confiding partial truths. Voices in the rig. He nods slow. We clean the blood. Rags soak red. The scent clings metallic. Another. Shift drags on. Patients repeat patterns. Each one revives with echoes. Behavior grows stranger still. Every 7 minutes, senses heighten. The steering wheel grips sticky. From dried sweat layers, a low hum vibrates constant. From the engine, deep, the air tastes of ozone, electric, intense. I'm ending the night drained, parking the ambulance secure. Its frame seems to watch. Walking away, whispers follow faint. In my head now. Home brings no relief. Bed creaks under weight. Sleep evades me long. Dreams return vivid. Patients crowd around me. Their voices merge into one. Join the recycle, they chant. I jolt awake, gasping. Clock shows 3 a.m. The phone rings, sudden. Unknown number calls. I answer, hesitant. A voice whispers soft. Drive again tomorrow. It hangs up quick. Every 30 minutes, memory twists further. My training days rewrite. Instructors warned of haunted rigs. But now I recall ignoring them, laughing it off then. Regret floods in now. The shift feels ominous. I'm preparing for next shift. Coffee steams in mug. Hot on my palms. The city awakens noisy. Traffic hums outside. Arriving at station, ambulance waits. Its doors ajar slight. I step inside cautious. A new patient file sits. Dated from yesterday. But details match tomorrow's call. Horror builds steady. The file describes a crash. With my name as victim, I drop it, shocked. Papers scatter on floor. Jake arrives, puzzled. You okay? I nod, weak. But inside, terror swirls. The ambulance hungers now. For souls to recycle. Asterisk, I drove an ambulance that recycled souls now. I hear their voices. I'm starting another shift in Chicago's haze. The morning fog clings thick, muffling street sounds. Jake waits by the rig, his face drawn tight, eyes scanning me wary. We climb inside together, doors slamming with a thud echoing in the bay. The engine growls to life, vibrations humming through seats, shaking loose my doubts. First call buzzes urgent, a collapse in a subway station. We race down avenues, sirens slicing the air. Crowds part like waves, faces blurring past as we descend, stairs clanging. I'm reaching the platform fast. The man sprawls on tiles, breath ragged and shallow. Jake checks his vitals, quick monitors beeping erratic while I secure the oxygen mask. His eyes snap open, sudden locking on mine, intense whispering of a life not his. I build bridges in your dreams, he rasps, voice echoing hollow, sending chills up my arms. We lift him onto the stretcher straps, clicking tight wheels, rattling over grates. In the back he revives with a gasp, recounting my hidden fears, details of nights I buried deep. Every detail sharpens, the stretcher's metal frame creaking under weight, the oxygen tank hissing faint, cool and metallic on my fingertips. The cab air thickening, humid, laced with sweat and fear. I'm driving through tunnels dim, lights flickering overhead, the rig bouncing on tracks. Flashes invade my mind now, not mine, but his memories of construction, falls, pain shooting through my legs. Jake notices my grip tighten. You okay up there? But I nod quick, focusing on the road. The whispers build, soft overlapping voices, naming regrets I never shared. We emerge into daylight, hospital bay looming close, doors hissing open wide. I'm unloading him, rushed nurses swarming, chaotic, his hand clutching my sleeve. Souls echo in the machine, he murmurs, eyes glazing over before flatlining, abrupt. Shocks jolt him back, but his voice shifts, tone deeper and foreign. Jake pulls me aside, face pale as sheet that wasn't natural. We clean the bay, silent wipes, scrubbing, blood faint, scent stinging sharp. Another call tones an overdose. In an old mill we weave through back streets, potholes jolting the frame. The woman lies curled on dust, needle discarded. Nearby pulse thready, weak. We administer reversal fast, her chest heaving, sudden eyes meeting mine, haunted. Your childhood scars are mine now, she whispers, voice cracking soft, triggering flashes of abuse, pain not from my past. Jake straps her down, monitors beeping steady, but memories merge unwelcome, her addictions burning in my veins. Every detail sharpens, the four-line dripping rhythmic fluid cool against skin. The rig's exhaust rumbling low, vibrating my chest. The floor mats sticking gritty under boots, shifting tense. I'm accelerating through traffic. Horns blaring distant, the whispers growing clearer. Voices recount my first love, but twisted with betrayal, heartache, flooding fresh. The rig swerves slight, as if pulled by force, Jake grabbing the dash. Watch it, he yells, but I steady, quick mind reeling from intrusions. She revives mid-ride, sitting up unnatural, describing my apartment layout, down to hidden drawers. A major horror reveal. The woman predicts my next meal, exact sandwich from the diner, with details of a spill that hasn't happened, yet her words chilling me cold as voices confirm in unison. Jake hears them now, face draining, color clutching his ears. Make it stop, he mutters, but the echoes persist, layering more lives into ours. I'm pulling into the ER bay, breaks, squealing, sharp, medics rushing out. She clutches my arm, desperate nails digging in recycled echoes. Own you. Flatline hits, instant beeps, turning drone. Revival brings a child's laugh, innocent yet wrong. We retreat to the lot, wind whipping, cold carrying, whispers faint. I'm taking a break in the diner, coffee steaming hot, mug warming palms. Pie tastes stale now, crumbs dry on tongue as stranger memories surge. A sailor's voyage ends, in storm waves crashing in my thoughts, salt stinging imagined eyes. Jake sits across, fork scraping plate. These aren't delusions. I nod, slow sharing the merges, his eyes widening, gradual. Every detail sharpens, the booth vinyl creaking soft under shifting weight. The coffee aroma mixing bitter with grease from grills. The window glass fogging, slight from breath uneven. Another alert pulls us back. Hit and run on the bridge, we speed over water waves churning below. The victim sprawls on asphalt, limbs twisted wrong, blood pooling dark. We patch him, urgent bandages, soaking quick, his eyes fluttering open. I drove your routes before, he gasps, voice bubbling wet, flashing shifts in my mind, recalls of shifts I never took. I'm loading him aboard. Doors sealing tight, monitors spiking wild. He describes my family's secrets, arguments, buried deep guilt, flooding my core. The bridge sways, faint rig rocking, gentle whispers, amplifying now, chanting forgotten names. Jake monitors, close sweat beading brow. This rig is cursed. A memory shift surges. My early career rewrites itself, no longer clean saves but botched calls, where patience lingered. Their grudges echoing back pain, twisting my resolve. Tears well unbidden, salty on cheeks, as loss feels raw again. I'm crossing the bridge, tense traffic, partying slow, the voices harmonizing louder. They predict roadblocks ahead, exact detours needed, guiding my hands. The rig responds, eager engine purring smooth, as if alive with intent. Every detail sharpens, the wheel leather gripping slick, sweat-coating palms. The siren wailing, piercing, echoing off girders. The blood scent, lingering metallic, thick in the air. I'm arriving at trauma doors, unloading frantic, his final words, haunting. Echoes recycle through you. He wheezes before flatlining cold. Revival alters him, complete new accent, emerging strong eyes, unfamiliar now. Jake demands we park, we need answers soon. Night falls, heavy stars hiding behind. Clouds whispers following us home. I'm entering my apartment, dim keys jingling, soft door creaking open. Couch sinks under me, fabric cool and worn, TV flickering mute. Sleep pulls fitful dreams, weaving lives, voices guiding. Tales. A farmer's drought, despair, hunger gnawing deep. Merges with my own. Every detail sharpens. The pillow feathers shifting, soft under head turning. The room air cooling, gradual carrying, distant traffic hum. The blanket threads rough, against skin restless. A major horror reveal. In dreams patients appear as me faces, morphing seamless, reciting scenes I committed, but amplified tenfold. Awakening me in sweat, heart pounding wild. Jake calls, late voice. Trembling low, I remember, death's not mine. We agree to dig deeper, rig's history, calling now, echoes demanding truth. A memory shift surges. Childhood friends fade, twisted accidents claiming them young in ambulances like this. Guilt assigning blame to me, whispers confirming faults. Dawn breaks, gray shift looming ominous, the rig waits hungry still. I drove an ambulance that recycled souls, now I hear their voices. I'm meeting Jake at the station, early dawn light filtering weak, casting long shadows on pavement. He holds a folder, thick papers rustling, soft eyes darting, nervous. We slip into the office, quiet door, clicking shut, air stuffy with dust. Found some records, he whispers, voice low and tense, spreading files on desk. The ambulance's log spans decades, entries yellowed, faint detailing odd incidents. First page mentions a crash in 85, crew vanished mid-shift. Rig found empty later. I'm scanning the documents, quick ink fading on edges, heart pounding steady. Reports describe patients reviving, strange whispering of past lives, echoes matching our calls. Jake points to a name, an old paramedic retired address in the suburbs. We talk to him, I say, grabbing keys, firm the rig waiting outside. We drive through morning rush traffic, humming low whispers, stirring faint in cab. The engine purrs ominous, as if knowing our plan. Guiding wheels, subtle. Every detail sharpens. The folder papers crinkling dry, under fingers flipping. The AC venting, cool, carrying musty archive scent. The dashboard plastic warming, slight from sun creeping in. I'm arriving at the house, modest lawn, overgrown wild porch, creaking under steps. The old man answers, slow, cane tapping wood, eyes narrowing sharp. Heard the echoes too. He asks, voice gravelly, deep, inviting us inside. Living room clutters with memorabilia, photos of rigs, faded air thick with pipe smoke. He recounts his shifts, patients merging souls, memories bleeding over. Rig was rebuilt after a fire, he says, fingers trembling slight from parts of wrecked ambulances. I'm pressing for more details, notebook scratching notes, whispers growing in my ears. He describes a mechanic cursed who salvaged haunted wrecks, infusing them with unrest. Jake leans forward, eager, how do we stop it? But the man shakes head. Flashes hit me sudden, not mine, but his recalls of fiery crashes, heat-scorching imagined skin. The room spins. Brief coffee mugs, steaming untouched, bitter aroma filling space. Up major horror reveal. The old man pulls a hidden log, pages revealing crews-driven mad, ending in self-inflicted flatlines. Their souls trapped in the rig, voices matching the whispers we hear. Jake gasps. Low face falling quick as names echo in our minds, calling us by forgotten sins. I'm leaving the house, shaken doors slamming behind, wind whipping leaves. Back in the rig, engine starts, reluctant, stalling twice. Before roaring, we head to the city archives, streets blurring past, sirens distant and mocking. Whispers amplify now, recounting the old man's secrets, affairs, and regrets exposed. Jake clutches the wheel, alternate it's digging deeper. He mutters, knuckles whitening tense. Every detail sharpens, the seatbelts straining taut fabric, digging shoulders. The radio static crackling faint, laced with muffled pleas. The mirrors reflecting eyes, shadowed and hollow. I'm entering the archives building dim. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, clerk nodding us through. Stacks of files, tower, high dust motes, dancing slow scent of old paper overwhelming. We dig into vehicle histories, ledgers cracking open, revealing the rig's origins. Built from scraps of doomed ambulances, each wrecked in tragedies. Souls lingering unresolved. One entry chills me, a mass casualty event rig, overloaded with dying. Their final breaths fused in metal. I'm photocopying pages, hasty machine, worry, loud ink, smudging fingers black. Memories intrude again, flashes of assembly lines, workers haunted by visions, quitting in fear. Jake finds a photo, the mechanic grinning, eerie eyes glowing faint in print. He died in the rig. He reads, voice dropping low, heart stopped during test drive. A memory shift surges. My training days rewrite dark, no longer standard drills, but simulations of recycled deaths, instructors whispering warnings ignored, guilt now surfacing raw. Tears sting my eyes, hot and blurring as failures feel personal. I'm exiting the archives, rushed files, clutched tight, rain starting to patter. Back in the rig, wipers swishing, rhythmic water streaking glass. Whispers predict our path, detours from traffic guiding us unwilling. Jake suggests a mechanic shop, check the underbelly. He says address from logs. We drive through downpour, puddles splashing high, thunder rumbling distant. Every detail sharpens. The rain drumming steady on roof, echoing. The wiper blades squeaking sharp, clearing views blurred. The cab air dampening quick, misting breath on windows. I'm pulling into the shop, garage doors rolling up, noisy tools clanging inside. The owner eyes us, suspicious, grease-staining hands, nodding to inspect. Under the rig, flashlight beams cutting, dark etchings appear on frame. Symbols scratched deep like runes from old logs, pulsing faint with light. Never seen that? He mutters, stepping back quick, as whispers emanate low from the metal itself. A major horror reveal, scraping reveals. Hidden compartments containing relics of past crews, ID badges, stained blood with notes, begging. Release, voices now, screaming in our heads, identifying us as next. Jake drops the tool, clanging loud, face twisting in terror. It's collecting us. I'm fleeing the shop, frantic engine, roaring, wild tires screeching on wet. Whispers chase us loud, recounting rigs, kills dozens over years. We park in an empty lot, breath heaving, ragged rain, pounding relentless. Jake proposes destruction, burn it down. He urges, but memories flood, opposing lives, pleading mercy. Every detail sharpens. The lot, gravel crunching wet, underpacing boots. The storm sent earthy strong, mixing with oil. The rigs, hood ticking cool from heat, fading slow. I'm calling the old man again. Phone ringing, endless voicemail picking up. His message warps, mid-play, voice shifting to echoes. Join the cycle now. Line goes dead, sudden static, buzzing, harsh chills gripping my spine. Jake searches online, hasty laptop glowing, dim forums of haunted vehicles, stories matching ours. A memory shift surges, family history, twists, sinister ancestors, as first responders dying in similar rigs, their legacies cursing mine, whispers claiming bloodline debt. Sorrow crashes over me, waves of inherited pain, hands trembling cold. I'm driving back to station night, falling deep city lights, smearing rain. The rig accelerates on own pedal sticking firm, forcing us toward an old wreck yard. Gates creak open, unnatural, as if inviting entry, whispers guiding inside. Scrap heaps, tower-high metal, groaning wind, relics of past ambulances scattered. Every detail sharpens. The yard mud sucking boots, sticky and cold. The rust scent biting, sharp filling lungs heavy. The distant thunder rolling low, vibrating ground faint. A major horror reveal. Among wrecks, we find the original frame etched with our names dated from future flatlines echoes. Laughing triumphant as rig's lights flash alive, trapping us in glow. Jake pounds the door, metal unyielding, it's the entity. Terror peaks now, confrontation looming near, souls demanding final merge. I drove an ambulance that recycled souls now. I hear their voices. I'm pounding on the rig's door, frantic metal unyielding, cold echoes laughing from within. Jake kicks at the frame, hard boots, thudding, dull sparks flying brief. The wreck yard darkens, sudden shadows, twisting alive, whispers swelling to roars. Lights from the ambulance pulse, bright, bathing us in red glow, revealing shapes in mist. Faces of past crews emerge, faint eyes, pleading silent, mouths gaping wide. We have to break free. A yell, voice cracking raw, grabbing a loose pipe nearby. I'm swinging it at the window glass, shattering, sharp shards raining down. We climb through jagged cuts, stinging arms, blood trickling warm. The entity manifests now, a swirling vortex of light centered in the rig's core. It pulls at our minds, memories flashing, chaotic lives of dozens merging. Jake stumbles back, it's the mechanic's soul, face twisting in pain. As whispers name his fears, we run through scrap heaps, metal groaning underfoot, rain starting to pour. Every detail sharpens, the pipe gripping slick rain mixing with blood. The yard air heavy, damp, carrying rust and decay. The ground mud sucking boots, sticky and deep. I'm reaching the yard's edge fence, rattling loose, climbing over hasty. Jake follows close breath, heaving ragged whispers, chasing us loud. We sprint to a nearby shed door, creaking open, tools scattering inside. From the logs, I gasp, recalling symbols etched, we need to reverse them. Jake nods, quick grabbing chalk and wire sketching runes on floor. The entity howls, distant wind whipping fierce, pulling us back subtle. I'm wiring a makeshift device, sparks crackling blue, heart pounding wild. Flashes hit again, souls begging release, their pains flooding my chest. The shed shakes, violent walls bending inward as the rig approaches, slow tires crunching gravel. Lights beam through cracks, blinding, and hot voices chanting our end. We finish the setup, hasty chalk glowing faint, ready to confront. A major horror reveal. The entity speaks through radiostatic voice, a chorus of dead, revealing it feeds on flatlines, recycling souls to grow our names next in its chain. Images of our deaths flashing vivid. Jake clutches his head no more, tears streaming down as memories warp his past. I'm luring it closer now, stepping out, bold pipe raised high. The rig rolls forward, eerie engine revving alone, doors flapping open. Shapes pour from inside, ghostly forms, reaching fingers icy on skin. I dodge and swing, pipe connecting, solid sparks exploding bright. Jake activates the rune's wires, humming charged, a barrier flickering up. The entity recoils, brief shrieking in rage, pulling souls back inside. Every detail sharpens, the rune's glowing warm heat prickling palms. The entity's wail-piercing ears echoing off wrecks. The rain scent mixing sharp with ozone from sparks. I'm charging the rig, direct jumping aboard, swift cab filling with mist. Controls fight, my hands wheel, jerking, wild whispers, deafening close. I steer toward the barrier, pedals slamming down, engine screaming protest. Jake waves from outside, jump clear. But I hold steady, aiming for the core. The entity manifests full a figure of smoke mechanic's face twisted, grabbing my throat tight. I'm choking on fog thick. Vision blurring, dark memories overwhelming now. Lives of all victims surge, joys and sorrows blending, weight crushing my will. With last strength I crash into ruins, explosion rumbling, deep light fracturing wild. The entity shrieks, final form dissolving slow souls, releasing in bursts. I tumble out, rolling ground, hard under me, Jake, pulling me safe. A memory shift surges, my entire career rewrites clean. No echoes or merges, but peace in every save, doubts fading, gentle as if the curse lifts. Relief washes over me, tears mixing with rain salty on lips. I'm watching the rig burn, flames licking high metal, twisting in heat. Whispers fade to silence, wind carrying ash, night sky clearing slow. Jake claps my shoulder. It's over, he says, voice steady. Now faces of souls vanishing faint. We walk away, drained legs, heavy and sore, city lights beckoning distant. Police sirens approach, questions looming soon, but freedom tastes sweet. Every detail sharpens. The fire crackling, loud warmth baking skin. The smoke curling thick, bitter in throat. The ash settling soft gray on clothes. I'm reporting the incident, vague station lights, harsh officers nodding, skeptical. Jake backs my story, details matching logs, case closing quiet. Back home at last, door locking secure, apartment silent.com. Shower runs hot water, soothing aches, steam clouding mirror. Bed calls inviting sheets, cool and crisp sleep, pulling deep. A major horror reveal. In the mirrors, fog, a face not mine, stares back, the mechanic's grin, faint whispering, one last time recycled. Not gone, as echoes stir subtle in my pulse. I wipe it clear, hasty, but doubt lingers cold. Wondering if we truly broke free. I'm lying awake, brief ceiling shadows dancing, heart beating steady. Dreams come gentle now, no merges, or please just quiet voids. Morning brings normalcy, coffee brewing, strong mug warming hands. Jake texts relieved, new rig today, but I hesitate slight. Echoes faint in mind. Every detail sharpens. The mug steam rising, slow aroma, grounding rich. The phone buzzing, soft vibration tingling fingers. The window light filtering warm, dusting room gold. I'm heading to work, cautious streets bustling alive, new ambulance gleaming fresh. Climb inside, wary seats, unfamiliar stiff. Engine humming, clean. First call tones normal, no whispers or shifts. Patient stable, calm. Relief builds gradual, but in quiet moments a voice murmurs, deep testing the silence. A memory shift surges. Childhood fears resurface. Twisted, no longer simple scares, but echoes of recycled dread lingering like scars, reminding the entity's touch. Unease settles, permanent whispers, waiting patient. For the next flatline call, I'm driving through the city, traffic flowing, smooth sirens, ready if needed. The horror endures, subtle in the rig's shadow souls, perhaps freed, but echoes eternal in me. Life continues, haunted each shift, a gamble, the cycle broken yet watching. Story 4. The hunger in the mirrors. I looked into a cursed mirror. Now I crave human flesh. I'm standing alone in my grandmother's dim hallway. The air thick with incense smoke, shadows flickering on cracked walls. The mirror leans against faded wallpaper, its silvered glass warping, oddly distorting my reflection as I approach. My breath catches cold, the glass feels unnaturally cold against my fingertips. I step closer, heart pounding, the dim light bending in the glass twisted my face, a cracked mask. Every detail sharpens, the mirror's warped surface rippling like oil across water. The faint scent of jasmine mixing with dust. My fingertips tingling cold on the smooth glass. Floorboards creak beneath me, older than my grandmother's bones, groaning under my weight. The hallway stretches, impossibly long walls, sagging with age, wallpaper peeling like dead skin. My reflection in the mirror seems to shift subtly, as I walk a fraction of a second behind my movements, as if the glass is holding it back. I stop before the mirror, my shadow stretching unnaturally long across the floor. The surface wavers, and for a heartbeat. My reflection isn't me, it's something else, a figure with elongated limbs and a gaping mouth filled with jagged teeth. It blinks at me, eyes wide with a hunger that makes my stomach twist. I blink fast, but the image remains, pressing against my soul with a dreadful ache. The old house creaks, settling floorboards, shifting beneath me, a whisper swirling in the silence. I feel a chill crawl over my skin, breath catching, sharp the mirror's hunger, invading my thoughts. My reflection smiles thinly, then melts away, replaced by a cavernous mouth filled with sharp teeth. Closing slowly on my trembling form, I back away, trembling the mirror's surface. Warping again, catching glimpses of faces twisted in pain inside the glass depths. Their eyes watch me, pleading voices trapped beneath the surface, begging release from a monstrous thirst at every 7 minutes. Details pierce deeper, the faint scrape of glass against wood, a coppery scent rising faintly like blood, the air humming, oppressive, thick with unseen hunger. My shadow stretches further, curling at the edges like smoke. The mirror's surface ripples again, and the image of the hungry mouth returns. This time, it's not just a reflection. It's reaching for me, its fingers pressing against the glass hard enough to crack it. I stumble back, my hands gripping the frame of the mirror, the wood icy under my palms. I find an ancient book tucked near the mirror, pages brittle, script curling like serpents. It speaks of the Pishacha, a demon haunting mirrors, feeding on desire, and flesh cursing those who meet its gaze. The text is written in a language I barely recognize, but the meaning is clear. The mirror is alive. It was crafted in a time when the boundary between man and demon was thin, when sorcerers bound hunger into glass. The hunger starts small, clawing at the throat, growing to gnaw at the heart. I feel it now, a gnawing emptiness in my chest, a craving that isn't for food, but for something else, something warm, something alive. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. The shadow in the mirror no longer follows my movements, it breaks free. Stepping closer, shimmering appetite burning in its eyes. The house darkens further, whispers rise to a scream, the hunger claws inescapable. I watch in horror as the shadow shifts into a humanoid shape, its body made of shifting glass and smoke, limbs elongating, joints bending in unnatural ways. It takes a step toward me, and the mirror cracks again. This time, the sound is louder, echoing through the hallway like a scream. Memories twist and fracture, nights I spent staring into distorted reflections, craving I cannot quell. My hands tremble, nails digging into palms, flesh aching with unfamiliar madness. I recall my grandmother's stories of the Pishacha, how it was said to lure people into their own reflections, feeding on their fears until they were nothing but hollow echoes. I had dismissed them as myths, but now, with the hunger clawing at my insides, I know they weren't just stories, they were warnings. The mirror beckons, I feel drawn toward it, the cursed hunger now mine, and the reflection's torment echoes mine. I take a step closer, the hunger in my chest growing stronger, a primal need to touch what lies beyond the glass. The shadow in the mirror steps closer to its eyes, glowing with a sickly green light. It whispers to me in a voice that is both familiar and foreign, promising release from the hunger if I will it. I hesitate, my fingers brushing the surface of the glass, but the moment I do, a jolt of pain shoots through me, as if the mirror itself is alive, reacting to my touch. I pull away, breath, ragged, heart pounding. The room feels smaller now, the walls closing in on me. The mirror's surface ripples again, showing a different reflection, now my face contorted in pain. My lips parting in a silent scream. I cover my face with my hands, but the image is burned into my mind, a warning I cannot escape. The hunger grows stronger, clawing at my insides, a need I can no longer ignore. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper, the faint scrape of glass against wood, a coppery scent rising faintly like blood, the air humming oppressive, thick with unseen hunger. My reflection in the mirror changes again this time. It's not just my face, it's the face of the shadow. I saw earlier its mouth wide with a hunger that mirrors my own. It reaches out to me, fingers pressing against the glass, and I feel it in my bones. The curse has taken hold of me now. I can no longer resist the hunger, and as I lean closer, the mirror cracks one final time, splitting in a web of fractures that spread across the room, as if the curse is breaking free from its prison. I hear my grandmother's voice, distant and faint, calling my name, but I can't answer. The hunger has taken over. The mirror is no longer a reflection, it's a portal, and I know, with a sickening certainty, that I've crossed the threshold into something I can never return from. I looked into a cursed mirror. Now, I crave human flesh. I'm sitting at my kitchen table now, the mirror across the room casting distorted reflections of my face, eyes sunken, lips curled in a permanent sneer. The hunger has grown stronger. It claws at my ribs like a wild animal, pressing against my skin in waves. My hands tremble, nails digging into the fabric of my shirt, but I can't tear it free. The fabric is too tight, as if bound by unseen hands. I glance at the mirror and there, behind my reflection, the Pishacha watches its elongated fingers tracing the glass, whispering in a language I don't understand. The air in the room is thick like blood has been spilled and left to rot. Every detail sharpens. The mirror's cracked surface, reflecting my face in jagged fragments. The faint scent of burning incense in the air. The sound of my own breath, ragged and uneven. The ceiling fan above hums, its blades spinning, slowly. But the light it casts is cold blue-tinted, as if the room is bleeding into the shadows. I feel the hunger again. It's not just in my chest anymore. It's in my bones, in my blood. A primal urge to tear open flesh to taste the warmth of life. My fingers twitch toward my neck, the thought of biting into my own skin. But I stop myself. The mirror's reflection screams in my mind, an image of my own face contorted in agony. Teeth sinking into flesh. I slam my hands onto the table, the wood splintering under my grip, but it doesn't soothe the hunger, it only makes it worse. Every 7 minutes. Details pierce deeper. The crackling of the ceiling fan, louder now. The scent of copper on the air, as if something has bled out. The mirror's reflection no longer matching my movements, but moving ahead of me, anticipating my desires. I get up slowly, my legs unsteady, and walk toward the mirror. The reflection of me doesn't follow it, stands still, watching, and in the glass, I see something else, a shadow flickering behind the Pishacha's form. It smiles, and I feel the hunger lurch in my gut, an unbearable need to reach out, to touch whatever is behind the glass. I press my palms against the mirror, the cold seeping into my flesh, and the Pishacha's form stretches toward me, fingertips barely grazing my skin. The hunger in my chest flares the need to taste blood, to feel the warmth of something alive. I pull away, my breath coming in shallow gasps, but the image lingers in my mind, a vision of the shadow behind the Pishacha, a face I recognize, someone I once loved. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. The mirror's reflection changes. It's no longer my face, it's the shadow's face, a twisted version of the person I know, eyes wide and unblinking, mouth stretched into a grotesque grin. The hunger in my chest roars louder. I can no longer ignore it. I take a step toward the mirror again, but this time, the reflection of the shadow moves first, lunging toward me, its fingers brushing against the glass. The form shimmers, and I feel a jolt of pain run through me, as if the mirror is alive, reacting to the touch. I stumble back, my heart pounding, my hands clutching my chest where the pain radiates. The hunger is no longer in my chest, it's in my fingers, a burning ache that spreads through my veins. I feel it now, the need to take, to consume, to become what the Pishacha has become. My reflection in the mirror screams in agony, but I can't hear it. I can only feel the hunger, the need to tear open flesh, to feed the thing that has taken hold of me. Memories twist and fracture. I recall the day the mirror was brought into the house, my grandmother's hands trembling as she carried it from the market, her face pale with fear. I had teased her, asking if it was a new fashion accessory, but she had only shaken her head and whispered something about old superstitions. Now I understand her fear. The hunger that has taken hold of me is the same hunger that has taken hold of her, a hunger that has been passed down through generations, buried deep in the bloodline of those who dared to look into the mirror. I feel it now, the weight of generations of sins pressing down on me, the curse of the Pishicha seeping into my very bones. My hands shake as I reach for the knife on the table, the blade gleaming in the dim light. The hunger in my chest surges and I feel my fingers curl around the handle, the weight of the knife familiar, yet wrong. The mirror's reflection watches me, the Pixacha's form stretching toward me, its eyes filled with a hunger that mirrors my own. I press the blade against my wrist, the cold steel biting into my skin, and I feel something inside me shift, the hunger no longer a desire, but a necessity. I close my eyes, and I let the blade sink deeper, the pain sharp, but the hunger even sharper. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper, the crackle of the knife against my skin. The scent of copper, stronger now, the mirror's surface vibrating with an unseen force, as if the curse is reacting to my blood. I open my eyes to find the mirror's reflection unchanged, the Pixacha's form still watching, its expression unreadable. The hunger in my chest grows louder. It's no longer just a craving for flesh, it's a thirst for something more, a need to become the very thing that has cursed me. My reflection in the mirror changes again. This time, I see myself, with fangs, my eyes glowing with a sickly green light. The Pixacha's form steps out of the mirror, its body made of shifting glass and smoke, its hands reaching for me. I feel the hunger surge in my veins, and I know I have no choice but to embrace it. I looked into a cursed mirror. Now I crave human flesh. I'm pacing the dim confines of my room, the hunger gnawing deeper like claws scraping bone. The mirror stands sentinel in the corner, its surface rippling faint reflections, twisting into mocking shapes. My skin crawls with itch sweat, beating cold, the air thick with a metallic temps. I know I must fight this, break the curse before it consumes me whole, but the Pixacha's whisper echoes in my mind, promising sweet release through surrender. Hands trembling, I grab my phone, fingers fumbling over keys, searching for answers in the glow of the screen. Old forums flicker to life, tales of cursed mirrors and demons from ancient lore, warnings scrawled in frantic text. One name repeats, a pundit in the old part of Mumbai said to banish such evils with rituals forgotten by time. I dress hasty clothes, clinging damp, the hunger pulsing in my veins like a second heartbeat. Outside the streets bustle chaotic horns blaring, sharp vendors shouting wares. But everything blurs, faces in the crowd, warping eyes, gleaming with hidden hunger. I hail a rickshaw engine sputtering loud, the driver glancing back curious. To the temple district, I mutter, voice hoarse, and strained, the vehicle lurching forward. Wind whips through open sides, carrying scents of street food spices that twist my stomach into knots. The craving surges not for curry or bread, but for something raw and warm, pulsing with life. Every detail sharpens. The rickshaw's seat vinyl, sticking clammy to skin. Exhaust fumes, mixing bitter with incense from passing shrines. The road bumps jolting bones, vibrations echoing the hunger's thrum. Buildings pass in a haze, ancient structures leaning weary, their windows like eyes watching my descent. I clutch a small bag inside, shards from the mirror's edge wrapped in cloth to contain the curse. They hum faint, vibrating against my palm, as if alive and resentful. I'm arriving at the temple, steps worn smooth by countless feet, marigold garlands draping arches. The pundit waits inside, robes saffron and flowing eyes, wise yet shadowed. You've looked into the glass, he says, voice low and knowing, gesturing to a low altar. I nod, shaky, unfolding the shards, their surfaces catching light in unnatural gleams. He examines them, close fingers, tracing edges, muttering prayers in Sanskrit. Pikshacha, he confirms the word, hanging heavy. It feeds on desire, twists it into endless hunger. He prepares a ritual, lighting lamps with ghee flames, dancing erratic. Incense curls, thick smoke stinging eyes, as he chants mantras, rhythmic and deep. I'm kneeling before the altar, the hunger fighting back, surging in waves that make my vision swim. The pundit sprinkles holy water drops, sizzling on shard steam rising acrid. But the mirror pieces writhe, edges sharpening reflections within, showing my face distorted mouth, gaping wide with fangs. Resist, he urges hand. On my shoulder firm, but the craving overwhelms thoughts of tearing into flesh warm and yielding. Every detail sharpens. The altar flames flickering warm on cheeks. The holy water's cool splash, echoing faint. Incense smoke coiling dense, choking lungs with floral bite. The shard's glass humming low vibrations crawling up arms. A major horror reveal. As the chants peak, the shards reassemble unnatural, forming a small mirror that reflects not the room, but a feast of writhing bodies. Souls trapped in eternal consumption, their screams, silent yet piercing my mind. The Pixach's form emerges, faint eyes, burning red, laughing at our feeble attempt. Pain lances through me, hunger exploding, forcing me to my feet, hands clutching throat as if to rip out the curse. I'm fleeing the temple dazed, steps stumbling down, the pundit's warnings ringing. It will fight, he called. Seek the source, destroy the original binding. Back in the rickshaw, mind racing, I head to my grandmother's abandoned house where the mirror first appeared. Streets narrow, alleys twisting, dark shadows lengthening as dusk falls. The hunger whispers temptations, images of passers-by as prey, their pulses calling. I clench fists, nails biting, palms blood welling, warm and tempting. I'm entering the house, silent door, creaking protest, dust motes dancing in faint light. The mirror looms larger now, frame etched deeper with serpentine carvings, surface pulsing like a heartbeat. I approach, cautious reflection, staring back, altered skin, pallid eyes, hollow with insatiable need. Searching rooms hasty, drawers rattling open, I find old journals, pages yellowed and brittle. Grandmother's handwriting recounting the mirror's arrival. Bought from a wandering Sodu, cursed by a Pishacha, bound within to punish greed and desire. Every detail sharpens, the journal pages crinkling dry under fingers. Musty scent of aged paper filling nostrils. Floorboards groaning soft, as if the house breathes in rhythm with the mirror. Faint echoes of whispers slithering from walls. I'm attempting to smash the mirror, hammer raised high, but it resists blows, glancing off. Vibrations jarring, arms numb. Cracks form, then heal seamless, the Pixach's laughter, bubbling from depths. Hunger spikes, vicious visions assaulting, feasts of forbidden meat, blood hot on tongue. I drop the hammer, collapsing to knees, tears mixing with sweat. A memory shift surges, childhood recollections warp. Dark grandmother's stories of demons, not fairy tales but warnings. Her eyes fearful as she spoke of mirrors that steal souls, hunger that devours families whole. I see now her own battles hid in the mirror's curse, claiming her slowly. Regrets flooding me raw. I'm calling a friend, desperate, phone buzzing in hand, voice pleading for help. Bring fire, I say, we burn it. He arrives, soon face pale with concern, carrying kerosene and matches. We douse the frame, liquid soaking wood fumes, sharp and heady. Striking the match, flame leaping blue, we set it ablaze. Fire roars, hungry mirror glass cracking loud, but the reflection fights, showing us consumed in flames, bodies twisting in agony. Every detail sharpens, the fire's heat baking skin, crackling wood, popping sharp, smoke billowing thick, stinging eyes and throat. The mirror's surface bubbling like boiling flesh. A major horror reveal. From the burning glass, shadowy tendrils erupt, wrapping around my friend, pulling him toward the inferno, his screams mingling with the Pixach's glee, hunger transferring brief, his eyes glazing with the same craving. I yank him free, flames licking close, but the mirror reforms. Unscathed and mocking, I'm extinguishing the fire, frantic water splashing wild, steam hissing angry. The house fills with smog, coughing, racking lungs, but the curse persists, hunger unabated. Friend flees, terrified door slamming shut, leaving me alone with the entity. I turn to ancient texts online, scrolling feverish, finding a ritual of binding, using salt and mantras to seal. The demon dot, every detail sharpens. The screen glow harsh on face, fingers tapping rapid on keys. Room air cooling eerie, as if the mirror draws heat. Distant thunder rumbling low, vibrating windows faint. I'm drawing a circle of salt. Grains crunching underfoot, chanting words from the screen, voice wavering but determined. The mirror shudders, reflections fracturing, showing alternate selves devoured by hunger, bones picked clean. The Pishacha manifests partial form, smoky and elongated, reaching through glass. Fingers icy on my arm. A memory shift surges. Family history unravels, sinister ancestors invoking the demon for power, bargains gone wrong, cursing bloodlines with eternal famine, whispers claiming my inheritance, guilt crashing heavy. I'm completing the chant, salt glowing, faint barrier flickering up. The entity recoils, shrieking rage, but the hunger inside me weakens, slight a glimmer of hope. Yet cracks appear in the salt, the mirror pushing back reflections, bleeding into reality. Every detail sharpens, the salt grains shifting soft, chants echoing hollow in ears. Air charging, electric hair standing on end. The mirrors, frame groaning, wood splintering slow. A major horror reveal. The barrier shatters sudden. Pishacha's full form, stepping through, not fully corporeal, but enough to grasp. My throat hunger flooding tenfold, visions of consuming loved ones, their flesh, sweet and forbidden. I gasp for air, fighting free, collapsing as it retreats, leaving me weakened but resolute. I'm researching deeper, night wearing on, finding tales of a sacred artifact, a talisman to shatter such curses hidden in ancient ruins. Resolve hardens, I must seek it, break the cycle before the final confrontation. I looked into a cursed mirror. Now I crave human flesh. I'm trekking through forgotten ruins outside Mumbai, moonlight filtering eerie through crumbling arches. The air heavy with damp earth and ancient decay. The hunger rages wild now, tearing at my insides, every step a battle against the urge to turn back and feed. From the texts I learned of this place, a temple lost to time where the talisman hides, forged to bind demons like the vines choke stone walls, roots twisting like veins, wind whispering warnings in forgotten tongues. My flashlight beam dances erratic, revealing carvings of feasts, grotesque figures devouring each other in eternal torment. The craving surges, visions of flesh ripping, blood hot and slick, but I press on, resolve forged in desperation. I'm descending stone steps, slick darkness swallowing light, echoes of my breaths rebounding hollow. The chamber below yawns, vast altar cracked and stained, the talisman glinting faint in dust. It's a silver amulet etched with runes that pulse warm to the touch like living skin. As I grasp it, energy courses, sharp hunger recoiling brief, a shriek echoing from nowhere. Shadows stir, walls seeming to breathe, the Pishacha sensing my intent, pulling at my mind with threads of desire. Every detail sharpens, the talisman's metal humming low in palm, stone cold and gritty under boots. Air thickening with musk of mold and incense long burned. Distant drips echoing rhythmic like blood falling slow. I'm clutching the amulet tight, ascending hasty ruins, groaning protest, as if the earth rejects my theft. Outside storm clouds gather, sudden rain starting to pelt, mud sucking at feet. I race home, talisman burning against chest, hunger fighting fiercer whispers, promising feasts if I yield. The mirror waits, surface churning, stormy reflections of ruined temples flickering within. I'm entering the room, bold amulet raised high, chanting words from the text's voice, steady despite fear. The glass shimmers, violent cracks spiderwebbing out the picture. Form coalescing, smoky, and elongated eyes glowing feral red. It lunges through claws, raking air, cold slicing skin. I dodge, swift talisman flaring, bright barrier of light flickering up. The entity howls rage voice, a chorus of devoured souls. You cannot end the feast. A major horror. Reveal. The Pishacha reveals its true nature, not one demon, but legion faces of ancestors, twisting in its form. Their hungers merged into endless void images, flashing of family lines consumed my own face joining the mass. Eternal craving without end. I'm pressing forward, talisman scorching hand, thrusting it toward the mirror. The glass warps inward, pulling me close, reflections multiplying, each showing a version of me feasting grotesque. Hunger overwhelms knees, buckling, but I chant louder words binding the entity. It grabs my arm, grip icy, and burning memories flooding chaotic. Lives of victims surging through. Every detail sharpens. The talisman's heat blistering flesh. Rain pounding roof loud. Mirror glass cracking, sharp shards tinkling down. The entity's breath foul like rotten meat and ash. I'm forcing the amulet against the glass. Surface yielding soft like plunging into flesh. The pit recoils form, fracturing souls, peeling away in bursts of light. Screams fill the air, not pain, but release. Ancestors fading peaceful. But it fights back. Tendrils wrapping throat hunger, spiking final visions of devouring the world. A memory shift surges. Entire lineage rewrites curses, lifting layer by layer peaceful deaths, replacing tormented ends. But echoes linger, faint cravings and blood. As if the feast pauses, but never stops. I'm shattering the mirror core talisman, embedding deep. Explosion of shards and light entity dissolving in shrieks. I collapse amid debris body. Aching hunger ebbing slow, like poison draining from veins. Rain outside slows silence, descending heavy, the room empty now. Save for glittering fragments. Every detail sharpens. Shards glinting wet on floor. Blood from cuts stinging sharp. Air clearing, fresh scent of ozone and rain. Heartbeat, slowing, ragged chest heaving with relief. I'm gathering remnants, cautious. Burying them deep in garden soil, earth cool, and loamy talisman placed atop a ward against return. Night deepens, stars peeking through clouds. Peace settling uneasy. But in quiet moments, a whisper stirs faint, craving tickling thoughts, testing the silence. A major horror reveal. In a puddle's reflection, the Pixacha's eye winks, brief voice, murmuring soft. The feast endures in you, images of future hungers, flashing vivid doubt seeding deep. I'm returning inside. Locking doors, secure apartment dim and calm. Shower runs hot, steam clouding mirrors, but I avoid looking, fear of what stares back. Bed welcomes weary sheets, cool against skin sleep, claiming fitful. A memory shift surges. Dreams twist, familiar scenes no longer innocent, but laced with subtle hunger. Family gatherings, turning feasts of flesh. Awakening with mouth-watering strange. I'm waking to dawn light, filtering golden coffee, brewing strong aroma, grounding. Phone buzzes, friend, checking. In voice, relieved, but wary, it's over. He asks, but I hesitate, echoes faint in pulse. Every detail sharpens, mug steam curling slow. Bitter taste on tongue. Morning birds chirping, distant melody mocking the calm. Sunlight warming face, but shadows lingering long. I'm stepping out, cautious city, alive with bustle, people passing unaware. Hunger dormant now, but in reflective surfaces a glint unnatural, watching patient. Life resumes, haunted each glance, a risk, the feast broken yet echoing. Story 5. The Lighthouse Keeper's Log. I read a log in a lighthouse. It wasn't human. I'm climbing the weathered steps of the old lighthouse on the rugged coast, wind howling fierce through cracks, salt spray stinging my face. The tower looms tall and lonely, paint peeling like old skin waves crashing relentless below. I push open the rusted door, hinges creaking protest inside. Dim light filters through grimy windows, dust motes dancing slow. My boots echo on spiral stairs, each step groaning under weight, the air thick with damp and decay. At the top, the lantern room waits, empty glass, panes fogged the sea, stretching endless and gray. A small desk hunkers in the corner, papers scattered wild and there. Bound in faded leather, the keeper's log lies open, pages yellowed and ink-smeared. I approach, cautious fingers tracing the cover. Rough and cold like driftwood. The entries start normal dates, scrawled neat notes on weather and ships sighted. But as I flip deeper, the writing shifts letters, elongating strange words, twisting into shapes that hurt the eyes. My breath catches the room, growing colder, shadows lengthening, unnatural. The log speaks of lights, guiding vessels, not of this world, hulls glowing, faint sails, whispering secrets. I read on, heart pounding, the keeper's voice, emerging not human in tone, describing hungers from the deep. Every detail sharpens, the log's pages crinkling dry under fingers, the distant roar of waves pounding rocks, wind whistling through gaps in the walls carrying a briny chill. The lantern's glass creaking faint, as if breathing. I delve further. Entries turning frantic sketches of creatures with many eyes, tentacles coiling from the sea. The keeper writes of signals, answered not by sailors, but by things that slither and moan. Rain starts pattering on the roof, rhythmic and insistent, mirroring the pulse in my veins. I glance. Out the window, fog rolling thick, obscuring the horizon, but in the log promises of revelations pull me back. The writing devolves, ink bleeding like blood, words in languages unknown, yet I understand. Whispers of pacts made under moonless nights. The tower sways, slight wind battering hard, a low hum vibrating from below. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper, the scent of seaweed rotting on shores. The log's leather binding sticky as if moist with something alive. Floorboards shifting, subtle creaks echoing like distant calls. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. Between pages, a pressed scale gleams iridescent, not fish, but something larger, pulsing faint with inner light. And when touched, visions flash, depths churning with forms that hunger for the surface. The log's words twist alive, reforming before my eyes, spelling my name in jagged script, as if the keeper knew I'd come. Memories twist and fracture, childhood tales of lost ships resurfaced, fishermen vanishing in storms there. Boats returning, empty hulls marked with strange symbols. I recall my grandfather's warnings, avoid the lighthouse, it's not for guiding the living. Now here the log pulls those fears into sharp focus. The isolation pressing heavy. I continue reading, compelled. The keeper describing transformations, skin scaling over eyes, adapting to abyssal dark. The entries end abrupt. Last page torn, half ink, trailing off in a smear, but a final note. They come tonight, the light calls them home. Thunder rumbles, distant waves crashing louder, the lighthouse beam flickering on automatic, sweeping the fog like a searching eye. Every detail sharpens, the beam's light cutting through mist, rain drumming harder on panes. The logs, ink smelling faintly of salt and iron like blood mixed with ocean. My hands trembling, slight pages fluttering in a draft from nowhere. I close the log slow, but its words linger, echoing in my mind, not human thoughts. The tower feels alive now, walls whispering faint, urging me to stay, to wait for what's coming. Fog thickens outside, shapes moving vague in the haze, not ships but something else drawn by the light. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper, the creak of the lantern mechanism turning, a chill draft, snaking upstairs. The taste of salt on lips, bitter and unending, shadows pooling deeper in corners. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. A loose page slips out, revealing a map of the coast, marked with wrecks not recorded, and at the center the lighthouse circled in red with notations in that alien script, hinting at gates to other realms opening under the waves. Memories twist and fracture, flashes of my own journeys. Boats rocking in storms, lights seen far out, not lighthouses but lures pulling toward doom. Regret swells, why did I come here? Curiosity turning to dread. The log sits heavy on the desk, its secrets unearthed, but the true horror dawns. The keeper's absence, no body, no trace, as if absorbed into the very walls. I pocket a page, Torn evidence, perhaps, descending stairs hasty, each step echoing louder. The sea's roar growing to a scream. I'm stumbling down the lighthouse stairs, heart racing wild, the torn page from the log clutched tight in my fist. The fog outside thickens dense, wrapping the coast in a suffocating shroud. Waves crashing louder now, like thunderous applause for some unseen spectacle. My car waits at the base engine, sputtering to life, headlights cutting weak beams through the mist. As I drive away, twisting roads hugging the cliffs, the lighthouse beam sweeps behind me, a cyclopean eye watching my retreat. The log's words echo in my mind, inhuman script burning vivid promises of vessels from the deep, not ships of wood and sail, but something alive and hungering. Rain slicks the windshield wipers, thumping rhythmic mirroring my pulse. I glance in the rear view, the tower fading into gray, but a chill lingers, as if the keeper's gaze follows. I'm arriving at my coastal cottage door, creaking open. The scent of salt and damp wood greeting me. Inside, I spread the torn page on the table under a flickering bulb, its alien markings shifting slight, or is that my imagination? The map shows Rex unmarked lines converging on the lighthouse notations, and that twisted hand hinting at summonings under full moons. I brew coffee strong, mug steaming hot, but the bitterness can't drown the unease. Outside, the sea roils restless, and in the distance, the lighthouse beam pulses steady, calling to whatever hides below. Every detail sharpens, the page's edges curling yellow under lamplight. Rain pattering soft on the roof, the coffee's aroma mixing with briny air seeping through cracks. My fingers tracing the map, paper rough and oddly warm. I'm poring over the page deeper, trying to decipher symbols when a low hum vibrates the windows, not thunder but something mechanical or organic. I step to the window, peering into the night fog, parting brief, revealing the ocean's surface glittering under moonlight. There far out a shape emerges, not a ship, but a silhouette, hulking lights flickering unnatural green along its form. It glides silent, no engine roar, no sails flapping, yet it moves purposeful, drawn toward the lighthouse beam. My breath fogs the glass hand, pressing cold against pain, the vessel's outline twisting as if breathing, tendrils trailing in the water like living appendages. The hum grows louder, resonating in my chest, a call and response with the lighthouse horn, now blaring deep and mournful. I grab binoculars, hasty focusing on the shape details, emerging horrific hull, not metal, but scaled, glistening wet, eyes blinking along its side, watching the shore. No crew visible, but movements slither across the deck. Shadows coiling and uncoiling, whispers carried on the wind, not human voices but gurgles and clicks. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper, the binoculars' lenses fogging from my breath. The hum vibrating floorboards subtle, scent of ozone sharp in the air like after a lightning strike. Rain intensifying drops, hammering the window like insistent fingers. I'm transfixed, unable to look away. As the strange ship nears the lighthouse, its form undulating, merging with waves. The beam illuminates brief, revealing decks alive with forms. Not sailors, but creatures, limbs too many, mouths gaping wide. They reach toward the light, as if feeding on its glow, a chorus of moans rising carried over the water, chilling my blood. The log's words flood back, they answer the call, vessels from the abyss, bearing gifts of madness. I drop the binoculars, clattering loud, backing away, shaky, but the hum persists, pulling at my thoughts, urging me to return. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. Through the window, another shape appears. Larger than the first, its hull pulsating, bioluminescent veins throbbing, and from its depths, a tentacle emerges, massive, slapping the water, sending sprays that reach the shore, the impact shaking the cottage foundations. Whispers now clearer, calling my name in bubbling tones. Memories twist and fracture recollections of childhood nights listening to Storm's grandfather's stories of ghost ships. Not pirates, but horrors from the deep, luring the unwary with false lights. I remember his eyes wide with unspoken fear, warning me never to seek the lighthouse. Now those tales warp, blending with the log's entries. making me question if he too had seen these vessels, if the madness ran in our blood. I'm shaking off the daze, grabbing my coat driven by compulsion. I must see closer, driving back through rain-slicked roads, wipers slashing frantic. The lighthouse looms again, its beam now, erratic, pulsing in rhythm with the approaching ships. Parking hasty, I trek the rocky path, wind whipping fierce, salt spray biting skin. At the cliff's edge, I crouch low, watching the sea now dotted with more shapes, a fleet of the bizarre, hulls merging and separating like a living organism. One vessel docks near the rocks, not anchoring, but adhering. Tendrils burrowing into stone figures descending, slithering toward the lighthouse base. Every detail sharpens, the rocks slick and jagged under hands, wind howling in ears, carrying wet, fishy odors. The ship's lights casting eerie glows on waves' reflections, dancing mad. My breath coming ragged, misting in the cold. I'm creeping closer, heart thundering. The figures not walking but gliding bodies, fluid cloaked in seaweed and slime. They circle the tower, chanting low voices, a cacophony of gurgles and hisses, the door creaking open, as if welcoming them. One turns face, not human eyes, multifaceted gleaming, locking onto me, hidden a jolt of recognition passing, as if it knows my intrusion. I freeze, breath held, but it moves on, entering the lighthouse, the hum, inside, growing to a roar. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper, the chance vibrations rumbling through ground. Slime trails glistening on rocks, sticky and iridescent. Air growing heavier, thick with the stench of deep-sea decay. Shadows from the beam twisting unnatural like living entities. I'm retreating slow, mind reeling back to the car engine roaring to life, fleeing the scene. But in the rear view, more ships arrive, a armada from nightmares converging on the light. At home I barricade the door, pacing frantic, the torn page mocking me from the table. Online searches yield nothing, forums dismissing such tales as folklore, but I know better, the vessels are real, drawn by the keeper's call, or whatever he became. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. A knock echoes, sudden knot on the door, but from within walls scratching following, as if something burrows through, and outside a ship appears closer to shore, its tendrils extending toward my cottage windows, rattling whispers infiltrating, promising union with the deep. Memories twist and fracture, flashes of my own sailing trips, calm seas turning stormy, sudden lights seen on horizons. Not stars but lures, pulling me off course. Now I see them as harbingers, connections to the lighthouse. My life intertwined with its curse. I'm arming myself with a flashlight and knife, venturing out again, drawn inexorably back. The shore teems now, creatures milling, harvesting something from the waves. Glowing orbs, pulsing, perhaps eggs or artifacts. One approaches me, bold form, shifting voice bubbling, the log calls you, join the watch. I slash wild knife, glancing off scales, it recoils hissing, but others turn, eyes fixing hungry. Every detail sharpens, the knife's grip slick with sweat. Orbs light casting pallid hues on skin. Waves lapping closer, cold water soaking boots. The creature's breath foul like rotting kelp and brine. I'm running back, lungs burning, the hum chasing me, ships, lights sweeping the land. Inside the cottage I collapse, mind fracturing under the assault, visions from the log invading me, as the keeper guiding the fleet transforming slow. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper, floor creaking under invisible weight. Distant chants filtering through walls, taste of salt invading mouth, unbidden and bitter. Shadows lengthening, forming shapes of tentacles. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. The torn page animates, ink swirling to form a live map, ships moving in real time, converging on my location, a central mark pulsing, indicating me as the next keeper. The horror sinking deep, the call inescapable. I'm sifting through faded newspapers in the dim town library, morning light slanting weak through dusty windows, the air heavy with old paper and mildew. Dawn chased the ships away, but their echoes haunt me, hum lingering faint in my ears. The librarian, an elderly woman with eyes like foggy glass, points me to archive stacks of yellowed clippings about the lighthouse keepers. I pull files, hasty pages rustling, dry names and dates blurring together. The current keeper, Elias Crow, vanished months ago. Reports sparse whispers of him acting strange before disappearing, talking to the sea, ignoring duties. Articles hint at oddities, lights seen at unnatural hours. Ships vanishing near the coast, no wreckage found. My fingers trace headlines, keeper missing amid storms, a photo of Elias' face gaunt, eyes staring distant, as if already lost to depths. I'm digging deeper, uncovering logs from predecessors, patterns emerging, each keeper serving brief, then gone, replaced without fanfare. Elias's entries in public records, normal at first, weather notes, ship sightings, but later mentions of visitors from below, coded in margins. The library clock ticks slow, echoing hollow outside, gulls cry shrill, wind rattling panes. I pocket a copied article, folding it, careful resolve hardening. I must find his home, trace his steps. Every detail sharpens, the article's ink smudging faint on fingers. Musty scent of archives clinging to clothes. Clock's ticks reverberating soft like dripping water. Sunlight warming the wooden table, grains rough under palms. I'm driving to Elias's abandoned cottage. Roads winding narrow, along cliffs, sea churning gray below. Fog lingers, stubborn, veiling the horizon, waves slapping rocks rhythmic. The house hunkers low, shutters banging loose, paint chipped by salt winds. Door unlocked, pushing open with a groan inside, chaos reigns, papers. Strewn furniture overturned, as if a struggle occurred. I step cautious, floorboards creaking, protest air thick with damp and something fishy like low-tide rot. On the desk more logs, personal ones, handwriting matching the Lighthouse book, but devolving further. Sketches of eyes and tentacles filling pages. I'm leafing through, frantic. Entries detailing transformations, skin itching, scales, forming dreams of swimming endless abysses. Elias writes of pacts made in desperation, loneliness, driving him to answer the sea's call, inviting the vessels. A journal page, tears, easy revealing hidden notes. The light is a beacon for them, I become the bridge. Shadows in the room lengthen though. Sun climbs high, a chill settling deep. Every 7 minutes. Details pierce deeper. The journal's leather binding, slimy slight, as if moistened by seawater. Wind whistling through cracks, carrying salty temps. Floorboards shifting underfoot, subtle pops like bones cracking. Shadows pooling unnatural, defying light sources. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. Amid the papers a jar rolls out containing a preserved eye, not human. Multifaceted and glowing, faint, staring back. And when I meet its gaze, visions assault. Elias merging with sea creatures, body twisting screams. Bubbling into gurgles, the horror imprinting on my mind, unshakable. Memories twist and fracture my own past, warps recollections of visiting the coast as a child. Hearing tales of keepers who went to the sea, not drowning but joining. Now those stories sharpen. Elias, perhaps a relative, distant, blood ties pulling me into this web. Guilt rising for ignoring family lore. I'm searching the cottage further, under bed, a chest hidden. Lock rusted, prying open with a crowbar found nearby. Inside artifacts, strange shells etched with symbols, a compass spinning wild, pointing not north but downward toward the floor, as if to buried depths. Letters, bundled from previous keepers' warnings, ignored, resist the call, or become the next. The compass hums low, vibrating in hand, drawing my eyes to the sea, visible through window waves, seeming to beckon. Every detail sharpens, the compass's needle worry frantic. Shell surfaces iridescent, cool and slick. Air in the chestale laced with brine. Distant waves crashing louder, echoing through walls. I'm pocketing the compass, leaving hasty, but outside locals gather. Fishermen with weathered faces, staring suspicious. One approaches, voice gravelly. You shouldn't meddle with Elias's things. He ain't gone, just changed. He recounts tales, seeing Ilias at night, walking into waves, not sinking but swimming, unnatural, returning altered, scales glinting under moon. The group nods, solemn eyes, avoiding mine, as if fearing contagion. Wind picks up, carrying their whispers. The lighthouse claims its own. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper. The fisherman's breath reeking of fish and tobacco. Gravel crunching under boots. Sea spray misting faces cold and sticky. Their eyes shadowed, reflecting hidden fears. I'm pressing for more. Visiting the pub nearby, dim and smoky patrons, huddled over pints. Barkeep, burly and scarred, shares stories Elias frequenting. Muttering about brothers from the deep, buying odd supplies, nets for catching stars, or so he claimed. A drunk in the corner slurs, saw him feed the light. Not oil but blood, his own to brighten the call. Laughter uneasy but eyes dart nervous, the room growing hushed, as if words summon danger. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. On the pub wall, a faded photo, Elias posing with a catch. But the fish, not normal appendages like arms, face almost human, screaming, silent. And as I stare, the image shifts subtle. The creature's eyes blinking, locking onto me, a whisper in my ear. Join us, cold breath, on neck from nowhere. Memories twist and fracture. Fragments of my life resurface, twisted jobs on boats, nights alone at sea feeling. Watched from below, now I see them as preludes. Ilias's fate, mirroring potential mine isolation, breeding the same madness. Dread coiling tight. I'm leaving the pub shaken. Heading to the archives again, librarian reluctant now, but shows genealogy books. Elias linked to old families, cursed lines, keepers passing the roll like a plague. Records show transformations documented, vague, lost. At sea, codes for something worse, bodies found altered, buried, quick. A birth certificate, Ilias's anomalies, noted webbed fingers at birth, corrected, but hinting at heritage from the deep. Every detail sharpens, book pages turning crisp, lamplight flickering unsteady, librarian's whispers, hushed breath, warm on ear. Outside, foghorn blaring, distant, mournful, and insistent. I'm compiling notes, frantic pieces, fitting Elias. Not victim but willing, investigating his own predecessors, then embracing the changelog, a record of descent into inhumanity. Compass in pocket spins wild, heating up as if sensing proximity to truth. Night falls, library closing, I slip out, streets empty. Fog rolling in thick. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper. Compass burning through fabric. Street lamps haloed in mist. Footsteps echoing lone, swallowed by silence. Taste of salt on wind, unyielding. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. In an alley, a figure lurks, silhouette like Elias from photos, but distorted limbs elongated, approaching, slow voice, gurgling, the log is mine. Return, it scales, glinting, forcing me to flee. Pursuit echoing with wet slaps on pavement. I'm barricading in my cottage, mind racing. Investigation revealing the keeper's fate, not dead, but evolved guardian of the deep, calling more like him. I'm gripping the compass tight, its needles spinning wild, pointing unerringly to the lighthouse as night falls heavy. The hum returns stronger, now vibrating through bones, a siren call I can't ignore. My car rattles along cliff, roads fog thickening like breath from the deep waves below, churning furious, spraying foam that slicks the windshield. Elias waits there, not man but monster, guardian of secrets, unearthed. I park at the base, wind howling protest, salt stinging eyes, the tower looming black against stars. Its beam pulsing erratic, like a heartbeat from hell. Door bangs open, stairs spiraling up each step, echoing hollow, the air growing thicker, laden with brine and rot. At the top, the lantern room glows, unnatural glass panes, dripping condensation. The log open on the desk, pages fluttering as if alive. I'm approaching, slow compass, burning hot, in pocket shadows, twisting on walls, forming shapes of tentacles and eyes. A figure hunches by the light, not human silhouette limbs, elongated skin, glistening scaled. Elias, I whisper, voice cracking, the form turning slow face, a mask of horror eyes, multifaceted mouth, slit wide with rows of teeth. He gurgles response, not words but bubbles and clicks. You came the log called, join the watch. The beam sweeps out, illuminating the sea ships rising again, hulls pulsating, tendrils waving welcome. I back away, heart pounding, but the compass pulls forward, as if tethered to him. Every detail sharpens. The compass's heat searing through fabric. Floor slick with moisture, footsteps slipping faint. Air heavy with fishy musk choking lungs. The beam's light humming low vibrations tingling skin. I'm confronting him. Bold, pulling the torn page from pocket, waving it like a talisman. This ends now. I shout, but Elias laughs, wet sound like drowning gasps, extending a webbed hand, fingers tipped with claws. He reveals the truth voice, echoing in mind, not spoken but thought. The lighthouse, a portal, built on ancient rifts, keepers chosen to bridge worlds, feeding the deep with souls, transforming to serve, eternal. The log is chronicle, not warning, but invitation drawing successors like me, blood ties binding us, ancestors lost to the same fate. Visions, assault, flashes of keepers' past bodies, warping merging with sea-guiding vessels that carry horrors to shore. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper, claws scraping glass faint. Elias's scales rasping as he moves, scent of decay intensifying like bloated corpses washed up. The tower swaying, slight wind battering walls. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. Elias peels back skin, revealing underneath. Not flesh but writhing mass, smaller creatures burrowing symbiotic horrors, their eyes blinking in unison, and one detaches slithering toward me. Latching onto leg burning cold, injecting visions of my own transformation. Skin scaling hunger for the abyss consuming. Memories twist and fracture my lineage, unravels complete grandfather, not warning but tempting himself a keeper once escaped partial. But past the call through blood, childhood dreams of swimming depths, now prophecies. Me destined to take the role, regret flooding bitter, why didn't I stay away? I'm kicking the creature off, stomping hard ichor, splattering. Sticky Elias, advancing tendrils extending from body wrapping, ankle pulling toward the light. I grab the log, hasty pages tearing, hurling it at him, but it reforms in air binding to his form, words glowing luminous. The beam intensifies, glass cracking portal opening wide, sea beyond warping ships merging into one colossal entity, maw opening vast, swallowing the horizon. Elias chants, low voice, a chorus, embrace the deep, become the light. Struggle ensues, I punch and claw nails, raking scales, blood mixing mine and his, thick and black. Every detail sharpens, ichor warm and viscous on hands, beams heat baking face, chants vibrating chest like internal echoes, glass shards tinkling down, cutting feet faint. I'm breaking free, momentary dashing to the mechanism, wrenching levers, trying to douse the light. Sparks fly, machinery groaning, but the beam holds, fueled by otherworldly power. Elias lunging again, claws raking shoulder, pain lancing sharp, blood welling hot. Visions intensify me, as keeper guiding endless fleets, feasting on lost sailors' eternal watch in isolation. Compass falls out, rolling across floor, needle pointing to Elias, then spinning to me, indicating the succession. Every 7 minutes, details pierce deeper. Blood dripping rhythmic on wood, machinery clanking erratic, air charging electric hairs standing, Elias's breath foul like abyssal vents. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. The portal widens, revealing the truth's core, not just ships but a city below. Spires of coral and bone inhabited by transformed keepers, their forms merged, a hive mind calling, pulling my soul downward, whispers promising. Power, immortality in the dark, the horror of endless existence without end. Memories twist and fracture, final pieces, snap my life a prelude, every storm, every lost night at sea, preparations. Elias, my mirror, The confrontation not fight but reunion. Blood demanding I yield despair, crashing like waves. I'm seizing the compass, smashing it against the light glass, shattering explosive. Beam flickering out, portal, shuttering closed. Elias howls, rage form, destabilizing tendrils, retracting body, collapsing into slime and scales. Dissolving slow gurgles, fading to silence. The tower shakes, violent stairs crumbling. I flee downward, leaping gaps, debris raining. Outside ships submerge, frantic waves calming, unnatural fog, lifting swift. Stars clear overhead. Every detail sharpens, shards, embedding in palms, stinging, stairs creaking, final warnings. Night air fresh, washing away rot. Heartbeat thundering, ears slowing, gradual. I'm collapsing on rocks, breath ragged, watching the tower stand still, light extinguished. But a faint glow persists inside, as if waiting. Compass fragments in hand, needle broken, yet I feel the pull linger, subtle itch under skin, eyes drawn to water. Dawn breaks, sun rising golden, but in reflections on waves, a face not mine stares back, scaled faint eyes gleaming. Every 7 minutes. Details pierce deeper, sun warming chilled bones, waves lapping gentle now, scent of clean salt replacing decay. Rocks hard and grounding under body. Every 15 minutes, a chill horror reveals itself. In the water's edge, a remnant of Elias washes up, a scale pulsing, attaching to my wound. Burrowing deep visions, returning brief, the portal not closed, but dormant. Waiting for a new keeper, my reflection smiling with too many teeth. The truth inescapable, the watch continues in me. I'm staggering, two-car driving away, numb town, awakening oblivious, but I know. The log's words etched in mind, inhuman legacy mine now. Home offers no solace, mirrors avoided, but in dreams the deep calls, soft promising return. We seal tonight's crypt, yet darkness whispers new secrets. We are American Pulse and Paranormal. Standing at oblivion's edge, these scary stories for sleep, close now, but echoes cling like shadows crawling behind your eyelids. Subscribe, and let the bell summon nightmares. Our next tale will crawl beneath your skin. Tell us below, which chill carved deepest? Where do you watch from? Dare you share this darkness? Keep lights dim. The night carries our next whisper, until we meet in another video telling horror stories that help you sleep. We leave you with shadows that never sleep. What stirs in your corner tonight? Let fear live on.